The following stream contains mature language and themes. Subjects that may be disturbing to some individuals will arise. Viewer discretion is advised.
The Savior, he's coming back. Coming. It's the end times. Doomsday's here. The Savior will be.
Well, hello again. So you've come to speak with your boy Twitch. I've seen around that there's some people who aren't what they appear. You know, reminds me of an old saying. You make a deal, you better make sure you keep it. It's like pizza. Those are words to live by. Got a odd rumor. Barely believe it myself, except for this individual was very trustworthy. A tiger was fought in the alley, and well, they beat the stuffing out of it. And I even heard some of them got all forked up over it. When they were done, they collected all the parts and they put them together in the same dumpster. Why won't kind learn? Some things just won't stay dead. Good news, though. Officer Ludlow, he survived to see another sunrise. I even heard he got some great video. Of course, you should always make sure to take out the camera first. Those are words to live by from your boy Twitch. We'll be talking.
When they walk the earth again, it'll be damnation. Damnation for all.
Good evening, and welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch channel. We are the Haunted Chronicles crew, here for Stuffed Chapter 5. I am Tam, and I will be your storyteller for this evening. And the rest of you would like to go around and introduce yourselves. Just go at random. It'll be fun.
I'm Evie Eternal, and I'm playing Rebecca Theron.
I'm Zem, and I play Alexander Bilkins.
Hey there, I'm Chops, and I'll be playing Anthony Reed.
I'm Sekti Panda, and I'll be playing Penelope Schmools.
My name is Moira Fuller, and I will be playing Harley Phillips.
Hi, I'm Grundy, and I'll be playing Eddie Stevens.
All right, now we've got our initiative order. Let's start the funeral procession. All right, where we left off last week, you had finished a battle with a stuffed tiger that was using forks, and I believe those forks actually belong to Harley for claws, and did quite a bit of damage to all of you, but also to someone else who Rebecca refers to as Boris, a man who lived in the alley, and we run into him a couple of times. Well, at least one of us had run into him once. Send him to the hospital, but he's okay now. He'll be fine. And they find out that he's got a little bit more history fighting things that are surprising and unnatural than was expected. So they've all met in the pizza place where Eddie works. He did a little bit of patching up on some people, and pizza was ordered. The food has arrived, and this is where we will pick up, as Boris is stuffing his face with pizza. And he just looks around the table at all of you. So, which one of you is the arrogant ass?
The arrogant ass.
There's always
well-
one.
Looks at Bilkins.
Usually somebody who deals with history, knows a lot of stuff about relics.
Stares directly at Bilkins. Sorry, Bilkins.
What do you want?
All right. So you're the history guy. So what's going on here?
Well, I'm bleeding profusely from my legs, which Miss Phillips tried to patch up. Moderately succeeded. I'm a little impressed by that, Miss Phillips. I'm in severe pain, and rather than going to the hospital, we're sitting in a pizzeria speaking to a homeless man for some reason. Have I summed that up accurately?
Wait a minute. He points to Eddie and Anthony and goes, which one of you is homeless?
He's referring to you, Boris.
Number one, I'm not homeless. I have a home. Well, at least I had one. But, you know, I'm sure all my bindings are torn up now because of the crap you guys brought. I was expecting demons, not toys. Number two, why do you keep calling me Boris?
That's the name you were brought in on the last time you were at the station.
So you just presume, because that's what some piece of paperwork says, that my name's Boris.
All right. Well, what's your real name, Boris?
That is typically how it works, by the way. You get like birth certificates and that kind of, unless you legally change it, but that's also paperwork.
Okay. There's legally changing it. And then there's what those of us who work on the dark side, well, it may not be necessarily as legal the way we change it, but, you know.
You tell me your name is Blade, I'm going to laugh.
No. I carry the name that's been passed down in my family since the 14th century. I'm Warren Osbert.
Pleasure to meet you, Warren Osbert.
Could I do
Pleasure to meet
a
you.
history check on that?
Yes, you may. So let's put an intelligence and academics on that. And you can throw in a historical die on that too, because I think that's your forte. So
Okay. What? One more time. Intelligence academics.
intelligence
With-
academics, yep, because that would be
Okay.
within your studies.
Okay.
And I don't remember which merits you have, but I
Mhm.
believe you have something that would apply. So feel free to throw that dice on there as well.
Okay. Great. Mm, 3 success.
All right. You've definitely heard the name Osbert before, and the 14th century kind of popped something in there because, again, you've done studies of rituals and these kind of things, so it would be in your area. And you remember during the Black Plague in London, there was an Osbert family that oversaw a good part of the London area. And that brings back something else to mind. The night the dead walked. Little side story that you dug some stuff up on. Something about children who had died, 100 of them, coming back from the dead and storming the city.
I'm sorry, you said Warren Osbert?
That's correct. The 5th, to be exact.
Mm-hmm. And which library did you choose that name from?
I didn't choose it from a library. It was given to me by my father.
I'm sure it was.
Is there some kind of a problem you have with my name?
You know
Bilkins.
the history of that name, Mr. Osbert.
I'm quite familiar with the history of that name.
Well, why don't you share just a little snippet, if you would?
In the 14th century, my father and his wife, Anne Osbert, were in London. They had to leave during the height of the plague because she had a child and they wanted to protect the child, which I'm glad they did because I wouldn't be here otherwise. Unfortunately, my grandmother didn't survive long after. But, you know, these things happen. People die.
And what do you know of the night the dead walked?
um, Surely you know that's just a myth, Bilkins. I mean, who would take children and reassemble their body parts with new parts and bring them back? I mean, that sounds like something out of a Shelley novel. And unfortunately, our cameras just went crash because we lost Cirque du Panda.
Yeah, I was just
no.
about to say she's frozen.
All right, we're going to, well, the screens are kind of posed up, so give it a moment here. I'm not going to try and fix them yet, because hopefully she will be back very shortly. Hey, we've made it 5 episodes. This is our first real technical problem.
Yeah!
Yay!
Big success.
Great success.
She had just sent something in the chat too, so I'm not sure what happened.
All right, I'm checking now. I do not see anything. We're going to give it a moment, and one of you wants to reach out to her and see if you can get hold of her. I will start setting up a dummy camera so that we can get our camera positions back in place. So,
Nice.
apologies to the viewers. Technical issues do arise.
Especially when you're online.
But we have done pretty good without having any issues till now, so I'm pleased.
House said he likes it this way, so we should just keep going.
We should just keep going. He likes the psychedelic camera. So.
Yeah. I think if we all lean just right in our cameras, you can see us in our
Everybody
spots
lean,
still.
everybody lean left, and so.
My camera is just a hat.
Oh, I lean the wrong way.
Yeah, you went the wrong way. You got to go the other way.
I am trying to get into the. Oh, that must be from earlier. Okay, anybody gotten hold of her? Heard anything back yet? Because I am having a heck of a time with my phone right now. All right, I'm going to put us on hold for just a moment. We're going to determine what we will do, and we will be back in just a moment. My apologies, everyone. You know, it's like something out of a book by Shelley, you know, Frankenstein or something. But yeah, the dead came back. They apparently overwhelmed the city. A trusted friend that my ancestor had left in charge of the home. Apparently they tried to fight or something, but they vanished without a trace. The house was
So-
destroyed.
We're supposed to believe that there are zombies now.
They're not zombies exactly, and I mean, there is a book. Unfortunately, it's stored at the Vatican. But if you can get your hands on it, it's written by a priest who was a young boy, about 10 years old at the time. Names he went into the priesthood, and when he got to be about 30 or 40, he wrote the story. What was his name? Lasbury, I think. Lawrence Lasbury. That's correct. Yes. Lawrence Lasbury. But there is a book on it.
Is it the Necronomicon?
No. But keep the sense of humor. It'll come in handy when things are trying to rip out your intestines with a fork, literally, apparently.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think this is the point to be skeptical. I mean, we just fought a tiger. I know zombies is a kind of a leap from there, and yet it seems like it's not that big of a leap for me.
Zombies, I think, are actually more likely to be possible based on scientific research than sentient fluff. So
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, so the toys are possessed by something, right? Or
No, see, that's the okay. Which one of you has the abilities?
Which
Come on, there's
ability?
always somebody. None of you?
What?
None of you have ever like predicted a card? Had a dream something was going to happen, and then your friend got hit by a car? Oh man, how in the world did the machine pick you?
The machine.
Yeah, machine.
There's time for that.
Lawrence and all this.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mr. Stevens?
Nothing. Hey, we're even after the whole pizza thing, right?
Well, you were supposed to deliver the pizzas, but you know what? I like you, kid.
Wow.
I think you're good.
Thanks.
Anyway, I don't think the machine was involved in this. You see, I got this sense, and when the machine's involved, I could feel it. And that's when the demons and the fallen come forward. So I think you're good there. I'm pretty sure it didn't have anything to do with the kindred or the kinfolk.
The what?
Haven't you ever heard of vampires? Werewolves?
You're kidding me. It's like
You guys are
every
in
myth
Chicago.
that humans have
Come
ever
on.
come up with just real now. Like, I like the occult. Don't get me wrong. I watch shows about the nonsense, but this is like, what?
Bilkins,
You have to
you're
be
the relic
serious.
historian guy. Back me up on this.
Yeah, can I do another roll or something? Any of those ring a bell?
Go for it.
All right.
More academics, because all yours is academic study at this point.
Five and a 10. 5.
5 successes is what's considered a dramatic success. So I think the first thing that's going to happen for Bilkins is all this research he's done, all these things he's looked into, all these things that people kind of laughed at him because he was looking into these rituals, is a moment of yes, because This guy just said that shit's real. So all the evidence that people have been calling you out on and saying it was made up, you just got validated. So yeah, matter of fact, you are pretty sure there are vampires active in the Windy City right now.
Mr. Osbert, you said kindred, you said kinfolk, you said vampires. Do you have evidence of their existence? Hard evidence.
Well, the police don't like to. Officer Theron, how about some mysterious deaths that have taken place? And the bodies have been, I believe the scientific term is exsanguinated. A couple of them found by the bean.
Have I had any
Probably,
experience?
knowing you. Yeah. You're working in homicide.
Yeah. There have been. We assumed it was just some sort of sadistic killer.
You guys don't have any idea what crawls around the Windy City after dark.
Guess not.
So what? Vampires, werewolves, it's all real.
Demons, angels.
Demons. Almost
Oh yeah,
forgot that one.
demons, absolutely.
Demons are bad news, I assume. Oh,
Is this
sorry.
just a Chicago thing? Because I actually recently moved here.
No,
Should I move?
I've got some good news. Panda is about to rejoin, so we're going to get a temporary camera flick here as she joins and my dummy camera leaves. Ta-da! Magic.
Woo!
Welcome back. We missed you. They've just found out that there are werewolves and vampires in Chicago.
Oh, damn!
In addition to that, Miss, I'm sorry, what was your name again? I know you like good pizza, but I didn't catch your name.
Oh, my name's Harley.
Harley.
Phillips.
There are things that wander this town that you would not believe. My job, before I retired, I fought demons, fallen angels. And sometimes you have to make deals with some of the other powers that be. There's a couple of nightclubs in town. They're run by vampires. They call themselves Kindred.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. So they're just all here, all hidden all the time.
Well, hidden right in front of your face. If you don't want to see it, you don't see it. I mean, how many times have you looked at a teddy bear or a stuffed lion and said, hey, look, it's a stuffed lion. It's not going to rip my guts out with a fork.
Yeah, I figured that was the more recent development.
Well, it's definitely different. I didn't get any of that sense of anything to do with the machine. So, oh, you asked about the machine earlier.
Yeah, what does this machine have to do? What kind of machine is it? Computer?
It's like a computer. Imagine, if you will, that there is a computer behind everything.
Oh, is this a living in the simulation thing?
No, it's the real world. There's no simulation to. Okay. So, way back when, God made everything.
There is a god. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Now
if you ever want to know if there's a
confirmation.
god, you ask one of those vampires. They carry the curse of Cain. Trust me, they'll let you know there's a god. But that's not the point. Part of his creation, he created a device. It's nicknamed, it's the God Machine. But it's the device that runs everything. Problem is, every machine at some point gets tinkered with. And when you mess around with a machine, invariably, what happens to it, Anthony? What happens to a machine when you mess around with it?
Well, it's not going to function as well. If you start changing what its functions are, it'll start tearing itself apart if you're not careful.
So, like Eddie's car here, when he hit me the other night, I pulled the wire on accident. Of course, it got hooked on my hand, but the wire that went to his right headlight. So at that point, his headlight no longer works properly. Well, you consider as this could barrel head along. Somebody sees him coming down this road. He's only got one headlight. They think it's a motorcycle. They cut the curve and smack right into the front of his car. He could be dead right now.
Did you save the wire?
Oh, I left it hanging in there. You know, it wasn't intentional. Like I said, it got hooked on me. Actually, it kind of cut me. You see the little scar right there?
But this God machine thing. So you're saying people are pulling the wires and adjusting it? Is there some place we could, I don't know, try to put the wires back where they belong? I mean,
Yeah, I see it. It's going to be a little slow. Some of you aren't as quick as you should be on the uptake here. Really, none of you has any, like, you know, crystal balls?
Crystal balls. Oh, do psychics and mediums, do they actually tell the future now?
Well, most of them are scams, but, you know, every once in a while you run into a few. Most of them tend not to want to say anything because, okay, let's back up. I used to be a hunter. Now, the way these things work is you tend to have a group that accidentally falls into the middle of the shit show. The machine's broken somewhere, you guys fall into it, you find something, somebody goes into a nightclub, their buddy gets drained, and, you know, they have to explain, you know, why they showed up out of blood and dead the next day, and then 2 weeks later, they're back in the nightclub. You know, so these things happen, and people kind of wake up a little bit and see what's going on, and, well, anytime you got something going on like that, you've got people on the other side who are trying to fix the problem. And everybody's got their own opinion about what the problem is. I mean, tell me, you got some people running a nightclub, every once in a while they take some guy that, you know, is selling crack to kids and drain him of blood. What's the loss, right?
I guess.
You know, you got to watch the value on these things. So some people don't like that. So you end up breaking into these things, and they look at these different masquerades, these conspiracies that are pulled over the eyes of the common person. And there are groups that'll bring you in and they will train you things. And here's the thing. Everybody's worried about the machine being broken, but all these groups, once you start working your way up there, you know what they do? They twist the machine for their own purposes.
So this.
Which, what does that do? That further breaks the machine.
So they can
And
actually. Oh, sorry.
No, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Tony, go ahead.
No, you please.
So they can actually fuck with the God machine. This is a lot to take in. So where's God then?
I think he retired. Still watches things. You know, I mean, let's be honest.
So if God's a machine, then what are angels and demons, huh? Like drones, programs?
That's a pretty good way to put it. The few that I've met, one of them was actually clockwork. Yeah.
You've met angels and demons.
I killed them.
Both of them?
Well, it was my job. I got
Angels
I got
shit.
news for you. Okay, take your whatever organized religion. You know, they got their view of where these things come from, but angels and demons, same thing. The only difference is angels don't know it yet, and the demons have figured out who they are.
Oh, I don't like that.
Either one of them, you're just in the way.
But there's good people, and angels like good people. Demons like bad people.
As long as you're not within the way of their mission, no problem.
So when people die, where do they go? Do they become these angels? These constructs? These programs? Where do they go? What the hell? This is
You know, I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to a few people at this corporation that's kind of messing around with this whole life death thing. Tech, something like that. Stay away from those guys. Okay, they're weird. They're messed up. They will involve you in some deep. They'll.
Can I just
I wouldn't
ask a
put.
question?
They'll mass kill people. What is it, young lady?
I've seen men on streets holding signs about the world ending, and then it doesn't. You know, I'm just wondering. There's seen some crazy stuff, and I'm very much inclined to believe you, considering the crazy things we've seen today. But just for my brain, you're not on drugs, right? You're not taking anything making you think things, see things.
You know, when my eyes were first opened, yeah, I hit some pretty hard stuff because I didn't want to believe it.
So,
but you know what? It's kind of like you're here, you've seen this tonight, you've held it in your hands, but you're still doubting that it's real. And your awareness, you know, it's like you got to bump up your wits. You got to get your composure. I mean, that's the key of perception. And none of you have noticed that the trunk on the police car outside was popped open 10 minutes ago.
Why didn't you say anything?
I run.
All right. You make your way outside. The trunk is empty.
Oh my god. Is the tiger, is there any remnants of the tiger?
The trunk is empty. Completely empty. Which means anything that Officer Theron had in the trunk, such as her vest, is gone.
Oh. If there's a window in the pizzeria, you just see Penelope like just grabbing her head and just like shaking her hands in frustration before coming back inside, defeated.
That doesn't look good.
Son of a bitch.
So
My
Warren,
shotgun is
why the
back
hell
here.
wouldn't you say anything? What are you trying to make this harder? There's
Meanwhile,
these
he's
things
munching
just
on
trying
pizza.
to kill us, and you let it go?
Let it go? Retired.
It tried to
Okay,
kill
so
you.
Exactly. You retired, but we're still involved with this. Why didn't you say anything? I mean, it just attacked you when you're home. Where are you going to go?
And he looks over at Bilkins for a moment and just backhands you. Now look, you're tense, you're excited. Why didn't you expect that?
But
He turns and looks at Bilkins. And his hands start swinging towards you.
I was gonna say if I'm in there at this point,
Mhm.
and he hit Anthony, Penelope would have gone to slap him.
Yeah,
All right.
Bilkins was not like looking up. He's writing furiously in his notebook everything that's going on. And as soon as he hears the slap, he's going to stand up as quickly as his legs will allow. He grabs Warren by the scruff of his shirt. For a demonstration, even for a demonstration, you will not hit the boy.
And he turns and looks at him and goes, "Are you a boy or are you a man?"
I'm. Well, I guess I'm a man. Or at least I want to be.
Are you going to let me hit you in the face again?
No, fuck you.
Then you learned something, didn't you?
Yeah, that you're a real dick.
So if a boy is not a boy, if a boy is a man, then it is perfectly acceptable to hit them in the face. I understand now. I release the scruff of his shirt, and I turn to go sit down, and then I try to backhand him.
All right, go ahead and give me a roll for that. That will be a strength and brawl, and you will remove 8 dice from your die pool for his defense.
I want to hit him, so I'm going to use a willpower.
Okay, all right.
You said athletics, right?
Brawl.
Or sorry,
Strength and brawl.
Strength and brawl. Okay.
Yeah. This is an unarmed attack.
Oof, nothing.
Actually, he lets you hit him. But it's not hard enough to do anything. You know, he just kind of like...
I'm going to hit him where it hurts, and I'm going to slam the pizza box shut.
That's just cruel, lady.
Yeah. Just shut the box, put my hand on it.
And he takes and puts his hand on top of yours. And he doesn't squeeze, but he's definitely got a firm grip on your hand. And he leans in and goes, "Not the pizza."
I put my hand on his shoulder. Yeah, and not her.
All right, easy, all of you. Bickering
Everybody
like
put your
children.
dicks away.
Jesus.
What do you punks think you're gonna do?
You say you're here to help? Sorry, Harley. Actually, you know what, Harley? You talk to him. I'm gonna get angry, and I don't want to get angry. You talk to him.
Yes, I just wanted to chime in. I don't appreciate people I care about being hit, but I understand you're likely trying to teach us some kind of lesson. So I guess I'm primarily interested in the fact that we are now a part of something, and that something is related to gods and kindred and everything. So I guess really I'm just curious what we do next. And then we can maybe all move on and continue doing what we've by fate ended up doing, I suppose.
I agree. You know what would be a really good start is inspecting and watching and looking over that tiger we caught. Oh wait. He let it get away.
And you'll notice the entire time he's been speaking with us, he hasn't mentioned stuffed animals, murderous giant teddy bears with forks in their paws that have scraped up my leg to oblivion. He hasn't mentioned that a single time.
Well, I believe he hasn't, because that's our mission to tackle, not his.
And you're just assuming that, Miss Phillips. You were so concerned with Anthony's safety just mere hours ago, and now you're perfectly fine with him going off and finding these kindred or getting slapped by random strangers in a pizzeria.
No, I'm not comfortable with Anthony getting hurt. As I just said, I don't care for any of my friends to get hurt, but obviously you're bleeding right now.
Conflict resolution. I really, really appreciate your expertise in this matter.
Hey, at
Hey,
least
can you
she's
use your indoor
trying.
voice?
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Just relax, everyone, okay? We've got to get this figured out. We don't have time to keep bickering. There's obviously some crazy shit going down. I don't know how much of what you've said, Warren, is real. I don't know. I don't care. But if you've got information that can help us, get down to it, okay?
And Warren points over at Eddie and he goes, "See, that's the guy who kept his cool. The rest of you, no idea what's going on." He watched and said, "Hey, indoor voices." And the rest of you probably haven't noticed. Gavin, you, yeah, redhead, more pizza. And, young lady, what do you have in your backpack? Because you probably didn't even hear the zipper close, did you?
I look in my backpack.
And inside the backpack is a blue-eyed panda bear just looking up.
It always had blue eyes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. It's like it changed eye color. Okay.
She's looking up.
Right. Okay, we get it. You're very observant. Great. You've had what, years of this? This is our first day, okay? Cut us some slack.
I cut you some slack, and you're liable to end up dead. You need to get this. You need to get this now. The machine and everything that talks to the machine and everything that's in touch with the machine, it's aware of you now.
Do you know of a way we can find out what is related to the machine? As you said, there's just vampires in nightclubs that we haven't noticed. Is there a hint? Is there a key? Is there a certain? If you look at them through a mirror, does it change anything? If the light hits, is there a thing?
Did you look in the eyes of your opponent tonight?
Yeah.
What did you see?
Blue.
Well, they were googly eyes too, so but that's not the point.
Blankness.
It had emotion, right? It seemed like hateful.
It was angry.
Bingo, calm guy. Calm guy gets it. He can't drive, but he gets it.
That's Eddie, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Eddie. And he extends his hand to shake hands with you.
Shakes his hand.
I was the calm guy. I was the calm guy too.
Eddie, please don't turn out like that.
Do my best.
What? Like what?
Like the kind of person to go around just slapping people for no reason.
I didn't slap.
Doesn't seem like
anybody
something the
for
quiet
no
guy
reason.
would do.
I had a reason. You just
Okay.
didn't get it.
I knocked the pizza on the floor. Oh, look at that. I had a reason for that too.
That's just evil, man.
All right, both of you, you're acting like children. You've got a point here. You're trying to teach us about
Just
this.
a minute. He leans over and picks up a piece off the ground, dusts it off, and starts eating.
You had a point.
All right. I don't know why it picked you. There's some reason. But all of you ran into each other, and it's not just coincidence. So that thing tonight, I was asleep in my safe space. I spent years working on that alley. I drew bindings and wards everywhere. And I'm not an artist. And nothing ever bothered me. But that thing, it wasn't tied directly to the machine, or it couldn't have got in. You guys have something else going on here. And I'll tell you what I saw. That thing was in my face. I saw one thing. It was pissed. I've seen a lot of angry things in my life. That thing was just mad. And I don't think it was mad at me. I think it was mad at the world.
What do you think of this one? And she'll bring the panda bear out.
Oh, that's cute. Where'd you find that?
It was given to me. It acted strangely like the tiger did.
Given to you by whom?
Denny Matthews, some pawn shop guy.
Shop owner.
Anything seem unusual to you about this, Mr. Matthews?
Not too much. He seemed kind of slimy. The main thing that's unusual is this bear, right?
Slimy. That's funny.
Can you let us in on the joke, maybe?
No, I think I'll let you guys figure it out. It'll be kind of an exercise for you.
Was he a vampire or something?
Have you ever seen him in the daylight?
I seen him once. Maybe
So
he's a
what's his
secret
game?
werewolf.
Oh, werewolves
Yeah,
go out in the sunlight all the time.
Yeah, what would be his game? What do you
I'll
want
let you-
from?
Like I said, I'll let you figure that out. But just remember, don't be racist. Just because somebody's not the same form of humanity you are, isn't any reason to look down on them.
Oh no, I'm terrified. I'm looking up at it.
Matthews is a strange bird. He'll help you, but there's always going to be a price.
Harley, you fancy going on a date?
With Denny?
It's just to think about the prices.
Oh,
You're not
I-
you don't work nights like.
Who, me? No,
Come
no,
on, man.
I don't.
You didn't seem like the type. I mean, you got good taste in pizza.
Thank you.
So we know this Denny Matthews is a person of interest. Do you have any idea who might be responsible or how it might be responsible with this outbreak of stuffed toys?
Retired.
I'm asking your opinion.
All right. Let's make this simple. I got a few things I can help your history buff with. Rituals, you've studied stuff, right? You ever drawn a pentagram and summoned a demon or anything, Bilkins?
I am sure that I have not.
All right. And he takes a piece of pizza, dips his finger in it to get the tomato on his hand, and clears off another table and starts drawing symbols on it, continuing to eat the pizza while he's going. So, all right, this. Now, you have to put your heart into it and think about it. So he spends the next few minutes teaching you some basic words of how to be aware of certain things, maybe bind things. Now, this doesn't work on everything, and you got to know what you're facing, okay? Or it'll do you no good whatsoever. But, I think you've seen some of this stuff before, and sure enough, some of these symbols and things you've definitely seen through your studies. It's a mix of things from all across the world. There's some hieroglyphics in there. There's some Mesopotamian Aztec type stuff in there. Definitely Norse. So you're seeing a wide variety of things brought into this. And look, I'm no specialist, okay? I just know a few of these things because Our Lady knew how to do them. But, well, you live, maybe I can talk to her and get you some sage advice on how to handle things.
So,
Mr. Osborne, let me get this straight. So, you were minding your own business in your safe alley that you created with these wards that you've just shown me, and I've written them all down in my notebook. You were
too.
in your safe alley, and out of nowhere, something attacked you. And rather than you're telling us that we need to go find out what it was that attacked you because you're retired and you have no further information on the matter.
Yeah.
And what guarantees that the thing doesn't attack you again? They've already invaded your safe space. Do you have a safer space or safe space number 2?
Well, that is what I was going to talk about. Since you guys and your misadventures have cost me my safe space, where are you guys going to be safe? Have you put any consideration to that? I mean, come on, every team's got to have a headquarters.
I'm sure we're not going to tell you unless you can give us a little bit more help or information.
I just taught you how to do binding rituals.
You worked here, right? In Chicago. And did you have a safe place? A hideaway, a hut, a place you could go?
That he got attacked by the tiger for one.
No,
His
not
safe
the alleyway,
place.
like a house or like a basement, a bunker. I don't know.
Oh,
Something with paper and the red string on the wall. You have one of those? You know of one?
Actually, I think I might know a place that could be helpful, but...
Well, out with it, Tony. What do you got?
Well, I can't work on my bots at home. It's too loud, and there's really not enough space.
I don't think we want him to know where our safe space is. I understand that we want one. I don't think we should say it out loud in the open.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Bilkins, but I think on this point I have to disagree with you somewhat because he is providing us a pretty good service. He may be doing things in a way that I disagree with, and I might have some reservations about him as a person. No offense to you, sir. But Mr. Warren, I think, has been at least been more helpful than nothing. So maybe we do owe him at least a little bit.
We bought him pizza. I think we're even.
But I thought that
we
was
saved
what
him
he
from a
owed.
tiger. We bought him pizza. I think we're even.
You saved me from a tiger.
I mean,
It did look like it was getting some cuts on you there. Sorry, go ahead, Penelope.
I mean, that tiger had you bested, sir. I'm sorry to say it, but let's just be adults here. But I do think Anthony has a point. If we had a place, would you be willing to, in exchange for being able to stay there and keeping it clean, not messing with anything, would you in exchange be able to help us out when occasionally we'd come and need some assistance, maybe some advice? And I'm sure if we ever have a huddle and we have like a little pizza meeting or something, you could have a few slices, but I think we would need some at least guaranteed cooperation in the future. You would be willing?
So this place, just so I'm getting the image here. Bathroom?
No. You probably have to find some place to go. I mean, there might be a porta potty.
I'll get you a bucket.
All right, I want weekly access to a shower.
Yeah, you can come by the station if you want.
No,
I've
no,
got-
no. I'm not going to the police station. No.
Fine, you can come by my apartment, use my shower. It's
I'll give you the key card that gets me into the gym. They have showers there, and then you can work out a little bit and sit in the sauna, cool off. But we'll need a couple of things. I would like the name of the female that you mentioned earlier that taught you these wards.
Won't do you any good.
Why is that?
Because she doesn't live on this side,
This side of what?
the hedge.
What is the hedge?
Oh.
Shit just keeps going deeper.
So, you're familiar with fairies and pixies, right?
of course those are real too.
Assume that we are so we don't slow down the story.
Well, the bridge between this side and that side, they call the hedge.
So there is like a fae realm or something like that. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah,
basically every human myth is real.
Well, where do you think they came from?
Shit, people can make things
who the hell
up.
do you think? Who the hell do you think Einstein was? Just some mortal guy who happened to have a vision of everything that was out there in the universe? Come on.
Well, who the fuck was
Einstein?
Einstein then?
So
He was an alien.
Oh, this just gets better and better.
This shit is fucking unbelievable. Do we have a Men in Black too? I mean, we surely have
yeah.
somebody covering this shit up.
That's one of the conspiracies you got to watch out for. Any of them that are tied in, okay, you're going to find them tied in with the government or tied in with religion. And then there's the ones that are tied in with both. And that's your Men in Black, and I'd kind of avoid them.
Of course.
They tend to be a little
Oh.
pedantic about their way of dealing with things.
All I know is the girls who laughed at me in college ain't gonna be laughing when I'm getting cuddles with a unicorn, okay? So let's go over the hedge.
True. I don't know if we're going by the old Irish myths. You may not want to fuck with the fae.
I haven't heard a lot of good things about fairies.
Listen, when do I get
Or
my
Gaelic.
superpowers? Am I a mutant now?
Yeah,
I do
magic
things.
works now. Can we use magic?
Can I cast spells?
I mean, these are all really great questions and all, but
Look,
I still feel
Are
like
they?
establishing
Are
a
they
safe
great
place.
questions, Anthony?
You're right.
I was
Anthony.
trying
Those
to
are
humor
terrible
them, Mr.
questions.
You're right, Tony. With the safe place, please continue.
Mr. Osbert, we were asking you about. I'm assuming your female contact is a fairy, then, based off of what you're saying. How
No,
did you summon
She's
this
not a
fairy?
She's the daughter of Hearn.
Who
Hearn
is
the
Hearn?
hunter?
Yeah, Hearn the hunter.
Huh.
Nice guy.
What, the guy leading
Throws
the
hell
wild
of a
hunt?
party. Hell of a party.
Care to fill us in, Pizza Boy?
Well, I just read a few stories here and there. Why don't you visit the local library?
I've been, but I don't
I
go into
like
the
him.
fiction section.
Well, obviously, this guy isn't fiction, according to Mr. Osbert here. Hearn the hunter, the guy with the horns. You never heard of the wild hunt?
Vaguely in some Gaelic reading that.
I mean, that means there's a lot of reorganization to do in those libraries.
Mrs. Hemaker used to help me at the library.
Yeah.
Right.
Hemmecker was a good guy.
So, Tony, the safe place.
But see, that's all the more reason we need someplace safe to be, because I don't want to end up like them.
I'm sorry, how did you know Mr. Hemmecker?
He'd help us with our field research. That's why he stayed at the library, the field museum, worked in the library, and his wife was in the library, he was in the museum, and
Wait, was my great uncle magic?
a lot of people will tell you that. He was I would say he was charmed.
Charmed. Was my great aunt magic? You know what happened, right? It's not her. Like that we can help her.
Why don't you start by telling me what you know? And he sits down and kicks his feet up on another chair and Gavin, isn't it? Gavin, do you guys sell beer here?
Do we sell beer?
You work there, I'll leave it up to you. Right? And bring us something decent to drink over here. You're all legal age, right?
Yeah.
I'm 23.
24.
Well, it's a good thing there aren't any cops
Penelope.
present.
I look at Anthony and I'm just like
Come on.
Wilkins is looking pointedly at Phillips.
I fill in him with what we know so far. She won't really hold back. She kind of she does trust him. If anyone did want to step in and stop her from revealing any information, she may hesitate. But if no one stops her, she will just to save time, she will just tell him pretty much what has happened on that she knows about so far. That has gone on, and if I mean, she has, I think, her cameras on her, so anything odd, she would probably show him footage, and maybe even show the whole squad kind of what's been going on, what happened in the Hemmecker house, of like the weird stuff that's been going on, the blood, the smudge marks, and everything like that.
How about the letter that you picked up and pocketed?
Oh damn! She's gonna be filming, and she's like, "Oh, hold on!" And then I pull it out of my pocket, and I actually read that to myself first. She like puts the thing on the table, and it's just like 1 second, and she'll just read it really quick.
It is.
There's that, and then there's the photo of the other letter.
Mhm.
So there's two, but yeah, she'll read those.
It's a diagnosis, a statement of what they have found. And you see the words cancer and inoperable and lymphatic.
Well, silver lining, it doesn't seem like he would have lived long anyways. And she puts that on the table.
That sentence, yeah. Sorry.
Wilkins, I'm going to just give you credit for this, that you look at it and you recognize the names on it, especially the name of the doctor who had her heart removed.
Well, Tony, I think we know why Hemmecker was working with the hospital's research department.
Wonder if Dr. Gottlieb knew about the things that he worked. I mean, why else would she be killed? What? I mean, unless maybe they were trying to I don't know, get rid of the people who are trying to treat him. It just doesn't make any sense unless she knew.
Mr. Osbert, do you recognize the name of this doctor?
No, doesn't mean a thing to me.
Is it possible? When was the last time you spoke to Mr. Hamaker? I'm wondering if it's possible that perhaps in the search for a cure, they became so desperate, and with their access to the research that you had as a hunter, which I now have to accept as a thing, with access to that research, maybe there was some experimental treatment could have performed together.
Nothing I knew of. I haven't talked to him in a few years. No, I can't say that. I may have seen him passing on the road. He was always good. He'd bring me a bottle or something, or let me get a little bit of food. But
is it possible through the runes and the symbols? Is it possible to cure lymphatic cancer, or do you know of anyone who rumors of such?
I would say anything's probably possible with the right knowledge. It's not something I focused on, but if you look at all the great plagues that have damaged the world since the beginning of time, you've got, of course, the bubonic plague. Most people recognize it from London, but they don't realize it actually started in China back 200 BC. Worked its way down the Silk Road into the Mediterranean, and then from there made its way up into London. And that was just the first time. The second plague was worse than that. But, cancer, the machine's broken. Everything works right. Maybe cancer wouldn't exist. But, there was a rumor. Well, I don't want to get into that, but, the Third Reich was messing around with the machine. Just think about that.
Yes, they were.
So
Okay.
Is there a way? I don't know. It's not my forte. Wasn't my job, and I'm tired.
Right. Let's focus on one thing at a time right now. We need to start getting this done, figuring out what's going on. We need a safe space first.
Excellent.
Anthony, you said you could
one
provide
thing
that?
at a time. The investigation with Mr. Hemaker is what we arrived at first, so I'd like to pursue that a little bit more, if you please, Miss Theron.
You're right.
Could you
He's
take a
the
look?
dick.
Could you take a look at these photos, real quick? Do you recognize the symbols or the patterns of the blood on the floor? And I take the photos out that the other detective had given me. I slide them over.
Which photos are you looking at? Are these of the doctor
These are
or
the
of the
no
Hamaker?
Hemaker.
Okay.
The Hemaker, because there was more of the patterns. I think you said Hemaker house.
Mhm.
I think there was some patterns at the doctor's office, but they were a little bit obscured.
Yep.
I
Harley, are
take
you looking?
photos of the photos.
All
I was
right.
taking photos of the
Oh, you
symbols
take
as well,
photos of the photos?
runes,
Okay.
So we
I
didn't
love
I'm taking photos of the photos.
I pass
So-
them across the table, and you're just like casually with your phone, just
Just like, oh.
So Harley, he's laying these things out on the table in front of you, and you suddenly feel this compulsion to look at him closer. And you pick one of them up. And for anyone who thinks I'm stealing player agency, we discussed before that this would happen at some point. And as soon as you touch this photo, you get a flash to a child, a sandbox, and someone, a grandfather? No. A great uncle, maybe? With a stuffed animal in his hands. And he's got the stuffed animal and he's making it dance for the little girl. And she's just sitting over there giggling. as he makes it dance, and you recognize the swirl patterns in the sand. They look very similar to the patterns in the blood. And then you're back.
Did the little girl look like Miss Hemaker, or was it like a different person?
Give me a wits and composure, please.
Sure. Ooh.
Just a quick question. Was
Yes.
that what both the letters were? Was covering their diagnosis?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, not
Um,
cool, but you know.
Well, one of them was for that. The other was to be part of the research program because it was inoperable. There was nothing
Got
they could
you.
do.
Okay. I see.
There was a stage 4 was listed in there as well.
There's 3, by the way.
It takes you a moment. It was Penelope.
Oh. And it was a grandfather specifically? So I saw a grandfather.
Well, I said grandfather, great uncle. Something came to your mind about that. And it was a rabbit, a stuffed rabbit.
And it was dancing.
And he was holding its legs and making it dance. Yeah.
And there were swirls in the sand, and it was Penelope. Okay.
What does she look like during this trance?
Can we really
see her, or is it like an instant thing where
I will
she's
leave
just
that
like
up to her. I will leave that up to her, Harley. What do you look like when this happens? What happens to you?
May I make a suggestion? You know, That's So Raven.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
I just had to put it out there. Just
I think for Harley is often a very emotionally driven person, and she wears her heart on her sleeve, but in that moment of like recognizing the emotion of others, her face goes devoid of emotion since she's kind of experiencing other people's moments, and so it's a very weird stoic state that Harley would not normally be in.
Do you share what you saw with everyone else?
Not yet.
Okay, very good. So none of you are aware of what she saw.
With my trained observer merit, could I notice that something happened to her when she looked at the thing?
I won't even make you roll for it. Something happened. Absolutely, you don't know what.
Okay, that's fine.
From all appearances, it looked like maybe she was stunned at what she was seeing because it is rather graphic and bloody.
And I'll place it. I'll place it back on the table. Sorry, I was curious. I haven't been able to go to the house myself.
I'm sure we can fix that at some point. But
you don't recognize any of this, Mr. Osbert?
It's not mine to recognize. Retired. You mentioned something about a picture, Penelope. I'm sorry, Mr. Bilkins. Just trying to guide the stuff around here.
Yes, I think that concludes my portion. Miss Theron, you had a before I showed in the picture.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up with Anthony. What did you want to do for a quote unquote safe space, a safe hideout?
Well, I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but usually I'm able to use a small garage over at the local junkyard, and I know the guy who runs the place pretty well. I mean, you know, Sean, he's a good guy, and I'm already using the space. I keep all my gear in there anyway, so it wouldn't be unusual for me to come and go. And I've had guests in the past, and it's not been a problem. So I don't know. I mean, as long as he stays quiet during the nights, I mean, why would he even have a reason to go in there and check?
Yeah.
Has your family ever been there?
No, my dad says that I'm wasting time, and my mother says the place is filthy. So
Good. Then it won't have the smell of them on it. This is going to be the hardest thing for you to get used to. Every time you let somebody know what you're doing, the machine's going to know about them. And it doesn't really want to be exposed.
Keep it to ourselves, huh?
Yeah, we have expressed interest to not inform Anthony's family, so that shouldn't be an issue.
I have some questions. You say you're tired, and that you were the wise guy of the group. Where are the rest of them now?
No, I said I was the quiet guy.
Sorry, the quiet guy. And she looks to Eddie and just says, "Don't let that get to your head."
The rest of them?
Yeah.
He slowly looks around at each one of you. They're dead.
I'm just going to pretend that's of natural causes.
At the same time or one by one?
Well, it varied.
Great.
To answer your question, in return, the photo had blood on it. And I actually was able to grab it. I believe it is of my great aunt. And that was the rabbit that I was trying to find in the video. We were unable to locate it. It's also the one that she was talking about in hospital.
And he holds out his hand for the photo.
I hand it to him.
And he immediately hands it to Harley.
Oh, give me a moment. Can I? So I need to roll now from now on for psychometry?
Yep.
Okay, let me look at it.
While you're looking that up, any other little tidbits you may have lifted that might be interesting?
A diary. Turns out Miss Hemmiker was in an orphanage.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that about her. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. You're Penelope.
Maybe.
How
So
much
is
do
there
you know
something
about her childhood?
I really don't know much. All I know is that she has an issue when it comes to children.
She has an issue that she couldn't have children, and it broke her heart.
I know. I learnt that the hard way.
And she grew up in an orphanage.
Yes.
Do you know why she grew up in an orphanage?
Something horrific happened to her parents. I think it would be best to, and she kind of like leans forward and just not mention this in front of the police officer. I don't want them thinking this is something hereditary.
And he leans in and goes, and he leans in like he's going to whisper in your ear and then loudly says, And if you're going to keep secrets, you're never going to be a team because you have to trust each other or you're gonna die.
All right. So, my great aunt's mum, kind of probably did something very similar to what they suspect she did to Donald. You happy now?
Officer
There's
Theron, what do you know
sorry.
about police history and homicides in Chicago?
I know quite a
Going
bit.
on about 1940s.
What do I know about the 1940s Chicago homicides?
Intelligence and academics.
All right.
And Penelope will hand him the diary as well.
Specifically, Abigail Reisner.
Abigail Reisner. Let's see.
Anyone else who wants to see if they've heard that name is welcome to do so as well. I'm sorry, what was that?
1 success.
1 success.
I'd be curious in case it ever came up in like a conversation. I don't think she would have read about it potentially, unless it's on like a conspiracy message board or something along those lines.
Give me intelligence academics. Anybody who wants to roll, feel free to roll. Intelligence academics. This would be something you could have seen online. You might have heard it, and who knows, maybe somebody did a YouTube video on it.
I sadly got no successes. I'm too busy making my own YouTube videos to watch other people's.
I got 6
I got 2 successes.
All right. You've heard the name. Bilkins, you and your studying in your mind, Abigail Reisner killed her husband. She had found that he had been with another woman. She killed him. They never found 2 things: his eyes and his wedding ring. Abigail took their daughter, 6 years old at the time, Florence, and left her at the Chicago Orphan Asylum, along with a stuffed animal. The stuffed animal was bloody because so was Abigail Reisner when she dropped off the child.
I've heard the name, but I don't remember much else. It's a bit bit foggy.
In the interest of sharing information, and then I'll just relay everything you just said.
Okay. Abigail Reisner was found guilty. She confessed, but they couldn't believe her confession. But she was found guilty. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What was her confession?
Her confession was that when she touched her husband, she got a flash, a vision of the woman that he had been with, their actual time together, every sordid detail. And it was too much for her. And when the man came, he smelled funny. Something metallic about him. That he offered her a knife. And she killed him. And because she couldn't stop seeing the vision, she cut out his eyes, trying to make it go away. And she just kept talking about how she could see through his eyes as she killed him, as she took out his eyes. Everything she did, he was staring at her. She was declared insane. The child was put in to the orphanage.
Well, that's grisly.
Yeah, and the police are gonna love that. They'll see a history of mental health and the pattern of what happened to her mother, probably assume that she saw it and will just use that against her.
They will, yeah. But I think it's at least pretty likely now that we can pretty solidly either knock Miss Hemaker off the list, or she would not have been in her right mind doing it.
Well, not only that, the sofa on the video I took, the sofa, she was sat there when it happened. She can't have done that, sat down. She hadn't moved. She was sat in shock when whatever happened. You can see her outline on the sofa, and yet no one said anything. No one did anything.
Well, that means we've got either
What?
a doll that killed Mr. Hemaker or this person.
What if someone on the force knows about this?
Maybe they do. If they do, they haven't told me.
Well, if they can't, because if they tell, then the thing gets spread, and the more people that find out, the more people are put in danger, because the machine then knows that they know. So they're trying to cover it up and just pin it on someone, poor woman. If we can, maybe there's another member of the. Is there a limit, Warren, to how many people can be in like a group like this? Is there a limit? Is there someone else? Could there be a missing member that we're just not aware about?
I mean, how many people do you need?
I don't know. I'm just thinking that maybe.
Have you guys even learned to work
somebody
together yet? I mean, until I mentioned this, you hadn't even shared any of this information among yourselves, and you want a bigger team? I think you're going to have to learn to work together. I mean,
we were coming here to share the info. So I guess it's appropriate that
well,
this is
good
where
thing
we
I got
share it.
attacked, huh? Get you all together.
Yeah.
Damn machine did it, I bet. I bet you it's part of the plan.
Wait,
And
so it wants
nobody's-
us to meet?
I thought you said that thing couldn't have been connected to the machine. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gotten in.
Yeah, and I thought we
It
were
wasn't.
against the machine.
Well, I'm against it being broken. I mean, if it was working right, it wouldn't be a problem. Hey, the machine
we
works
like
in
the
mysterious
machine.
ways.
There's some sort of fate tethered, but
And here we are, and nobody has once asked Harley what she thinks of the picture I handed her.
No offense, but what would she know?
Harley,
Harley, when you look at that, you immediately recognize the rabbit. It's the same rabbit that you saw in the vision. It's big. It's about the size of what the little girl was. Very large.
Do I see emotion in its eyes? Do I see emotion? I only got one success, but that's what I'm mostly focused on.
I think this is beautiful. You do.
Okay.
The way she's holding this thing, it's almost like it's holding her. I mean, she's obviously got her hands on it, but it's like it's hugging her. And you get one strong feeling. Love.
Hmm.
And on that, I think we'll take a short break. Be back in 5. Welcome back. When we left off, they had just discussed Harley's findings when she looked at the photo, and that there was an emotional context that she got from the photograph. And it was love.
Yes, I do get a specific emotional calling and tie, and it's definitely connected with the previous photo. I think this is our primary suspect, despite it being silly. And she's saying this all directly to Osbert specifically.
What other evidence haven't you shared yet? I mean, come on. Everybody's seen a little something. Put it
Got a
all
video.
together.
I don't know how many of you have seen it yet, but it's something. It's Ludlow. And I'll play the video and show them exactly what happens.
So all of you see this video from its camera perspective. He looks back. He's startled by something. You see a flash of a face and a reflection in the windshield. The car veers to the right, goes off the edge into the river. Something reaches around and grabs, and you hear a gurgling noise, and then the camera shorts out.
What does the arm look like?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Can I roll?
Is there
It's-
like the arm or the face distinguishable in any way?
It's very blurry, and it is on a cell phone. You do not have the technology at your disposal to do anything more with it right now.
Can
Okay.
I use Trained Observer to try and pick anything out?
You can, but I'm going to tell you it's going to have about -4 to the die pool because you do not have technology at hand.
That
It's a
brings me
blurry
to-
video. Blurry video. So
That brings me to 1 die. All right, let's see. Wait.
Failed,
Eight.
deletes the video. Oh.
Horace
an
finally got
8.
his pizza.
So
been-
1.
Oh, now I'm hungry. Why would you do this?
1 success on 1 die.
Again, you think you can make out a face, and as you look at it, no, it can't, it's got to be something to do with distortion from reflection and the lights. It doesn't look like a person. It looks like somebody wearing a mask. And you're pretty sure you saw a floppy ear.
This looks like taking a closer look for a second. I think this is our masked figure, but I think the masked figure, I might it it sounds stupid, but it might be this bunny.
Why does that
Oh,
sound stupid?
It is. And I almost am certain that it is.
Oh, how do you know, Harley? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, what's this thing with the photos?
yeah, we've had multiple connections, and one of our very first instances of there potentially being a suspect was your great aunt talking about her bunny and Pico, and she wouldn't say anything else. So we had that to start, and then it's been more and more stuffed animals. The Hemikers were the first death, and looking at these images, I mean, Penelope, you've been dragged into this, and you've played with this bunny before with one of your relatives in the sandbox. Do you remember?
Do I remember?
I'm going to leave that up to the player. You can either just assume that you might have some memory of it, or you can roll
Okay.
for it. It is your choice.
I never told you about that.
No, but you can kind of Did you ever draw circles or spirals, or did your family ever draw in the sand in the sandbox, and then the bunny dances? Those are the same. If you look, and she'll grab the other photos, and she's like, she's in like mad like this
Sorry,
is the
did you say
red string.
spirals?
Yes, I think that they're spirals. It's
Like
the
little
same.
swirls.
Yes, in the blood. Yes, in this
the-
picture.
No, at the Hemikers.
Yes.
Yeah, swirls in, yeah.
Yes, they're the same ones that used to be in Penelope's sandbox.
It
It
looked like
some
somebody
kind
had
of
used a washcloth or something to make trails in
Oh,
the blood. I remember.
I'm not sure how they were made, but they're consistent with all of my knowledge of the bunny.
And Boris, I'm going to call him Boris because that's what you call him. Boris looks over and, oh, well, what about with a washcloth? What about, what's the bunny made out of?
burlap. Right? Something like that.
Why
Yeah.
are we just... Harley, how do you know that?
The pictures, it's obvious.
There's not a picture of me in a sandbox.
No, but if you I don't really know, to be honest, but you have to trust me. I looked at that picture and I saw that, and obviously you remember it too, so that means something, correct?
How long have you known each other, Penelope and Miss Phillips?
Oh, I just moved here a half a year ago. I haven't known Penelope very long, but when you look at this picture, you can see it. Do you not see it?
My parents weren't there for that, so they wouldn't have told her either.
None of these pictures even alludes to that, to anything like that.
Penelope reaches over and goes to like knock on Harley's arm. Does it feel like skin?
Harley's arm? Yes, Harley, how does your arm feel?
Is it
Like an arm.
Okay, just making sure.
It's clear Miss Phillips saw an old photo album when we were in your house earlier, and that is what she is recalling now.
Well, hold on, Mr. Wilkins. That is a reasonable assumption to make, but
I haven't been in the house.
Well, exactly, and even more so, Miss Phillips didn't Warren here mention that somebody would have powers. I mean, I'm not saying that you have powers or anything, but maybe you got powers.
Do you have superpowers, Miss Phillips?
This is exactly why I didn't want to say anything, because I looked at these photos and I saw this, and Boris over here is telling us to be honest with each other and be kind as a group. But this entire time that I've been with this group, as a trained psychologist who knows how to deal with de-escalation, who knows how to read signs, all that's ever happened to me, primarily from Bilkins, is to be talked over or to be reprimanded or disrespected. So if you want to make fun of me or believe I have superpowers or not, fine. But I trust Boris. I trust this person who's decided to give us this information, as far-fetched as it seems. I'm trying to do my best for this group and for the Hemikers because I believe we all care about them very much. And I'd like to continue through with this mission. So whether I have powers or not, I don't care. Whether or not this is stupid or not, whether it puts Anthony in harm, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to be part of this. I don't think any of you want to be part of this. But I'm looking at these pictures. I'm telling you what I see. And I want to protect people that I care about. So I'd like to be respected and listened to in this moment.
Boris walks over, grabs you, and literally picks you up out of the chair and hugs you.
Oh, thank you.
And he whispers in your ear, I really hope you die last. You're awesome.
Thank you. I think I'll take that as a compliment in this field that we're in now.
And he sits you back down.
If anyone has more questions and they want to actually listen to me for once this entire time, I'm happy to say anything that I've seen in these pictures, and I'm happy to cooperate going forward. But I went to school. I came here to follow an internship. I came here to help people. I care about people. I've been taking care of my family my whole life. I just
So
want to be respected,
how,
please.
how exactly does it work when you see the vision?
I mean, I've worked in I don't know, perhaps it has some link to my degree, my studies in psychology. It's an emotional feeling. It's a
No.
recall. It's almost as if an empathic connection is made. I looked at this
Okay.
photo and I recalled a memory that was not mine, that seems to be true of Penelope's past. And I mean, this is the first time it's ever happened to me.
You can pick up other people's memories.
I guess though, through photos, maybe.
Oh, through photos. Okay, that's fine.
Maybe we can get you to Ludlow, and maybe you can form this. I am taking you totally seriously, by the way. I apologize. Maybe you can form this sort of empathic connection and be able to delve into his memories. This is huge if you can do this.
Of course. My only concern is I know sometimes during traumatic experiences, which I assume that was for him, going over the edge, sometimes people form these false memories that you completely believe are real. And I assume if there's this machine at play, whatever is responsible for everything going on right now might have ways to tamper with it. So this is all so new to me. I'm happy to help. Really, I am, and I care about you guys. So I want to do my best. I'll try. I warn you with my knowledge of how the brain works is that the brain isn't as reliable as you think it is.
I'm
Right,
sorry,
we're-
Riley.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I
Ty.
was gonna say the same. I'm sorry too. I mean, I wasn't trying to make fun of you. I was just trying to point out a logical connection.
No,
But I'm sorry if you feel that way.
it's okay. I don't want to be talked over or called Mrs. Phillips anymore. I want to be part of the group.
You
I
want to
think
be?
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm supposed to call you. I mean, you're my counselor.
no, it's okay. It's
Harley,
not
then?
your fault. Yeah, yes, that's my name.
Boris
Okay,
leans
okay.
over to
Got you,
Anthony and
Harley.
goes, "Ma'am."
I was just a bit taken aback. Just remembering my great uncle, and two, you having a memory of something that I feel like only I remember at this point.
I'm sure it's overwhelming, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up anything that might cause you harm, and we can talk about it if you'd like. I'm sure it's strange having someone kind of in your head like that, and
No, I'm worried about you. Is there a? I know this is probably a dumb question. I don't think they keep records of things like this, but is there a list of hunters, Warren?
Well, remember I mentioned there are different levels in this, and as you get involved in the conspiracies, things go up, and there's governments and religion. I mean, there's an archive at the Vatican. Here's a funny thing. There's an order in the Vatican that hunts vampires, and they don't realize that the founder was a vampire.
Just
Have you read this, by the way? And he holds up the diary. Have you read any of this?
only a very short amount. Sorry, I got a little bit freaked out. I thought maybe my great aunt's mother was a hunter, and I don't know if only hunters develop these powers, but she also saw things. And Harley, I want you to stay safe because I don't want these visions driving you crazy.
You know, I will say once you're a more seasoned investigator, this is like something for next time. Maybe you can delve into what happened.
Yeah, sorry. The diary, I
Florence's mother, and he hands the diary to Harley, with a page open and points to it. And you have it in chat.
Yes.
Sorry, Harley, we're going to be playing Pass the Parcel with you forever now, I think.
Well, that's quite all right. I'll read it out loud. I think in the interest of sharing from now forward. August 8th, 1948. Today, Mrs. Brandon gave me this diary to write in. I'm supposed to write the good things that happen. Mr. Stupico said it's okay and hugged me. Mrs. Brandon said it is okay to write the sad things too. Alicia died this morning. Mr. Stupico and I will have the room to ourselves until my fever goes away. Mr. Stupico said I am not allowed to go away like Alicia did. He will never leave me to be alone in the dark. He says we were beautifully abandoned together. So Mr. Stupico is the bunny, correct? I mean, I understand this is a child, but she's claiming that it spoke to her, and in that photo, like I mentioned, remember how we saw that emotion in that tiger's eyes, lion, the cat. I saw that in Stupico's eyes as well, and I think maybe he's I don't know, some kind of creature that's trying to maybe he feels abandoned again and is trying to create more friends, or maybe Mr. Stupico isn't responsible for the death, but is now on a revenge path for the death, and all the other. I don't know, but that's the bunny is a key part of this, I think, and we haven't been able to find it.
No, but
I hate to be the guy to point this out, but Penelope, how did you get your online name?
Is that just
The player. I mean, I'll be glad to ST it in there if you'd like.
You know what? You know what, Tim? I'm feeling you throw in there if you'd like. You throw something in there if you like.
Give me a wits and composure, please.
All right. I feel like during all like that, she would have been like not intentionally, but just like instinctively, because she has a lot of bears. She was probably like holding the panda's hand or something, just like comfort wise.
Okay.
In the bag. 2 successes.
A couple of things. One, you think back to there was a painting that your aunt did, and she called it Beautifully Abandoned. And she said she did it when she was like 30. So, I mean, this was like 50 years ago. And you think about it for a moment and you recognize suddenly the building that was in the background of the silhouettes. And it's the same building that's in the photo. It's the Chicago Orphan Asylum. But the other thing you notice when you squeeze the panda's hand, it squeezes back.
Harley, I feel terrible. I don't know if this drains you. I don't know if this wears you out. I don't know if there's any kind of taxing element to doing this.
No,
and I promise
none yet.
I will try my best not to ask this of you a lot. But do you think you could try with my?
Of course. I'm happy to. Like I said, I care about you all. I haven't had much chance to make friends other than colleagues at the high school, and as terrifying and overwhelming as this has been, um I have found it quite nice to just be with people throughout this hardship. So please, I'll always do whatever needs to be done to help.
You know, even if you didn't have this, you'd still be with us, right? You're not just here because there's a use. You're here because, I mean, one, we unfortunately all fell into this, but even not, I think we'd all want you here anyways. At least I would. And she will take the panda out and she will hold on to it while Harley is holding on to it. Like, she's not letting go of it. Because I think she's almost like afraid it's going to do something to Harley. So she's keeping a grip onto it.
Thank you. And I will try again. I need to
So using this ability, this is psychometry. It does cost a willpower each
Oh, it
time that you
does?
use it. So you've gotten freebies from now, but from this point forward, it will cost you the willpower in order to do this.
That's
And
fine.
Can
I
I
am
gift a
going
willpower? Sorry to interrupt.
Afraid not.
Oh,
No,
okay,
afraid
nice.
not. And I hate to have to tell you this. It's a wits and occult roll, as you know. You're going to have to take a -5 to your die pool on this one.
That's okay. So I get a luck die, right? If I have
Okay.
nothing.
Yep.
And then I have to spend a willpower to use it. And then what is spending a willpower net me? More dice?
No, it costs a willpower to use it. If you spent another willpower, you could add dice to the pool.
I'll do that.
Okay. So before subtracting the 5 from it, you would have your wits, your occult, plus 2 die from the spending of the willpower. Okay.
That still would
And
put
then
me at 1.
-5. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't wait.
my wits and occult isn't very good.
I wouldn't spend the extra willpower on that then. Just roll your luck
Okay.
die and let's see.
I will be improving my occult from now on.
I thought willpower was 3 dice. Have I been rolling wrong?
It
this whole
depends.
time?
No, it depends on what it's for.
Okay.
It still
phew.
wouldn't matter.
Hmm.
Okay, that's a 5, so not a failure, but not a success.
Yeah, I'm afraid that you don't really get anything strong from it. It could be that you're tired.
Okay, so I spend a willpower to do that?
Yeah. So
Do
just
I erase the circle, or do I mark a little check in the
mark
boxes?
the check? Mark the checks because you can always get willpower back.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
A good night's rest or exercising your virtue or your vice will help you get willpower back.
Cool. Okay. And no, I'm not really getting anything from this. I don't, this, like I said, I maybe it has to be a photo, or maybe this panda is just too hard to read. And I've also
That's okay.
had visions of a couple other things today, so I don't know. I may just be tired.
That's okay. Don't worry. And
We'll keep an eye on it, though.
yeah,
Have you had any weird experiences with it so far? I know we're keeping it in your bag for safekeeping.
just a quick question. When I took it out of the bag, did it stop holding my hand, or is it still kind of gripping, or is it released its grip?
It's not like a death grip on you.
So it just squeezed.
It just
I just
squeezed back.
I mean, it is probably it could have just been my imagination. I don't want to put too much onto it.
Eddie looks at her like, really?
I just don't look at me like that. I just was. I have I'm a grown woman. I like soft toys, okay? It's comforting. Everyone has their thing. Don't judge
Penelope,
me.
it's fine. It's
And
fine.
I just instinctively, it was just, I just held on to its hand while this was going on instinctively. And it felt like it squeezed my hand back in a kind way, not a hurt way, but in a kind way.
Would you like me
But
to stab it through
looking-
the heart for you?
No.
Well,
No.
it could potentially be an ally, if anything. Well,
Right.
I guess as a hunter, you would probably advise not allying with the enemy.
It's not connected to the god machine.
Sorry,
Right,
where's
none
the
of it,
heart
none
in
of
a
it.
stuffed animal?
We're not stabbing the. Look, this toy, I think, is different. I mean, I don't know what all the toys are like. We've only met 2 that seem to have kind of the ability to move that we've seen. One was very angry, and this one seems to love a lot, but it hasn't tried to hurt us.
I mean, the emotion that I sense from Stepiko in that photo is love. It cared a lot for. It
Yeah.
cared a lot for Miss Hemaker, so and now we
So-
think it might potentially be linked to what's going on. So just be careful in trusting that.
Yeah, so to go over this, we know that these stuffed animals feel emotion. We know that it started with Mr. Stepiko, from what we can tell, and something either activated it or something changed. I know in the Hemaker house there was a lot of dust on the stairs, so nobody went upstairs. If Stepiko was upstairs, maybe it felt abandoned. We also know that there is someone, or the Stepiko is wearing a mask and assaulting people. I need to get information from Ludlow. Maybe we should do this at our maybe we should continue this at our safe house with some wards or something. And we've also know that there's we can go to Denny. He might have some information. He's the one who gave you that. There's also, we know that there's the orphanage that Miss Hemaker grew up in, apparently, or something like that.
Wilkins has
any
been
other
writing in
place-
his notes the whole time, and he looks up straight at Theron while she's talking and says, "How in the world did you make it to detective? We just met this man. You're a walking security clearance officer. This is a disaster. We just met this man, and you're giving him all the information that we've ever revealed and our next steps going forward."
He's the one who seems to know what's going on and know what he's doing. I'm sorry, I'm a little impulsive sometimes, but he seems all right. He seems like he knows. And there's some crazy shit happening. So standard procedure is kind of out. Okay? So
You were
you're gonna have to
asking me.
relax, Mr. Bill.
We can
You-
still be cautious and hold some cards close to our vest.
God.
I'm with you, but I think first we bring Mr. Osbert to his own safe space, which is separate from our safe space, which I believe we have not revealed yet.
We
I
already did.
have
Wait a minute, we had a deal.
I have a location that we can make safe. It has all the alcohol you could want. There's an unlimited supply of food. There's a recently vacant bedroom, and there's also already someone living there who has military background, and he may provide company and protection with you, and he would be an excellent companion for someone like yourself. I think this would be...
I'm sorry, Dr. Monotone. Can you maybe bring this up
Mr.
in
Stevens,
discussion
this
with the
is the
group before you
second
start
time-
talking over everyone and leading the discussion?
This is the second time you've making fun of my voice. Do not do it again, Mr.
Mr.
Stevens.
What?
I get the joke.
Hey,
You are
Both
just
of
a
you.
joke.
stop. We have to work together on this, okay? We're in over our fucking heads. Mr. Bilkins, I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate your expertise. but you have a serious problem with speaking over others, okay? We have to work together. So right now, let's focus on where this safe house is, whether it's what you're speaking of or what Anthony is speaking of, okay? But we are going to get this together, and we have to respect each other, and we have to understand each other. You understand me?
That is exactly what I was saying.
Okay. So,
I don't understand the confusion here. We have a safe house for ourselves. We provide this man with his own safe house. And that way we can plan and research and do our detective work on our own without outside interference.
so far, he seems like the only connection that we have to any of this world that's on our side right now. I would prefer to keep him close.
And you know he's on our side.
He's the one who's telling us all about it. If he's
I'm
right,
in the
he's not.
room.
He is in the room as well. But
Yes,
I
I
think
can
we
see
can
you there.
You guys were asking about teams, and I just want to let you know I'm not sure what theory is or how it works out, but the history and relics person, always the asshole. Every time.
right. We don't need two safe houses, so let's pick one and then go there and then pick out our next move. Okay?
I believe the safe house that Bilkins was talking about was actually the Reed's residence, which is a joke, not serious.
That's
So
insane.
we should go.
Oh no, I am very serious. For one thing, this rabbit has already been there.
Mr. Bilkins, we're not going to a place where the rabbit has already been and attempting to use it as a safe place. And we're not going near child abusing gentlemen if we don't have to. So the other option, I think, is much more remote and it's much easier to secure. Does that sound good to everyone else?
And the other option would be Mr. Reed calls Child Protective Services to alert them that their child is missing and has been for some time.
That bastard wouldn't call Child Protective Services if his son was dying in the middle of their house, okay?
I think we can still go to our homes. We should just use the safe house as a safe house, so do not arouse any suspicion. I would also like to just say that I think, even though safe house is a good idea and something that we should think about, I do think that we did have a lead with the doctor. She slipped me a card, and then her heart got ripped out. And I feel like if we want to speak with this Denny Matthews, we possibly should do that before if anything happens to him.
That's actually fair. But if he's a monster, if he's
I don't think he's a
kindred.
monster.
I'm not in the metaphorical sense, the literal sense. Like a vampire.
Well, then he can turn us, and then we can be immortal, and we can fight crime. It's perfect.
Interesting prospect. But let's...
Miss Phillips, do you still have the clock that Mr. Matthews
Totally.
gave you?
Yes,
Sure.
I've never had a chance to return it. It's back at my apartment though, and as we know, our apartments have been compromised. I didn't even remember to check if it was still there, to be honest.
She wants to be called Harley.
I don't care what Miss Phillips would like to be called. If she wants my respect, she can earn it.
Whew. How about those drinks, right? It's like, what's his name? Gavin? Before the drinks.
Let's gather ourselves. Tony, would you like to show us the way to this safe house? We would very much appreciate it, I'm sure.
Yeah, why don't we
And-
do that? But, I mean, I feel like when we get there, when we start setting things up, we really need to air things out. I mean, there's a lot of tension between all of us, it seems like. And Mr. Bilkins, I understand that you want things done in a proper way, and I agree with you. They should be done in a proper way. But in the interest of bringing a proper cooperation, in proper synergy, we need to have a smoother communication. I mean, just look at what you did when Eddie tried to express himself. You immediately drove him into the ground. And I mean, I'm not saying that you can't do that. That's your choice. But I mean, for me personally, I look up to you, and when I see things like that, it makes it really hard. It makes it really hard to keep wanting to try.
Hey,
That was very well said, Anthony. It was very well said. I will try to communicate in a way that is better suited for this group.
Eddie, you wanted to say something?
yeah, I just look, Mr. Bilkins. Sorry for flying off the handle like that. Like Anthony said, tensions have been running high. It's not usually like me. From now on, I won't make fun of your voice.
And I will stop calling you the pizza boy.
Oh, that's optional. Didn't really bother me.
Oh Lord, get a room.
I mean,
For God's
Well, we're
sake.
working on it.
your abrasive personality is still on the table for mockery, though. Just so we're clear.
I expected nothing less.
Mm.
Now, if we could rationally discuss how we share information publicly in pizza parlors and how that would not be prudent, probably. Can we all agree on that count?
I would say yes.
And probably it's possible that wandering vagrants with vast amount of information about an underworld that we know nothing about, a little bit of distance from that might be prudent.
I can see the point, and I would typically agree with you in a much greater fashion, but in this particular moment, he is a guide when we have none. So keeping him close to the chest, regardless of whether or not we are worried about what he's going to do, would be the most logical course of action. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right?
I completely agree with you, Anthony, which is why I recommended we put wards up at the Reed residence.
Well, the
And-
trouble with that, if you recall, he mentioned how tying anybody into this would bring the God Machine into it and make them potentially a victim. And while my father has his problems, he is not an abuser, and he would, in fact, call if I was on the verge of death. And frankly, I'd rather not deal with him.
I'm sorry, Anthony. I lost my cool there a little bit. Your father and I have some history.
It's fine. I don't need an explanation for why you think he's a bad man. I've dealt with that my whole life.
Right. Let's. I suppose we can, if it's still contentious, we can take a vote on where we set up this safe house. Democracy seems like the best option. So those in favor of the Reed residence, raise your hands, please.
I
And those
don't want the Reed residence as a safe house for us, just for him.
safe house.
I vote for the junkyard.
Junkyard. Raise your hands. All right. So everyone will be going to the junkyard, and from there, we can set up a little bit, gather all the evidence. I can call back into the station and see how Ludlow's doing. See if I can get some time with him at the hospital if he is still there. I don't know his condition right now, but that might be an option. Miss Phillips.
Officer,
Oh, sorry,
Officer
Harley.
Theron.
Yes. Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
it's
Call
okay.
me Rebecca or Becca, whichever you prefer.
Oh, yes, Rebecca. How do you plan on keeping the police from getting too involved in this? It almost seems like the police being involved might become an issue. We wouldn't want them around the safe house, but I assume you got your walkie and are I'm just a little concerned.
Yeah, there's.
I feel like
there,
our
there,
safe
sorry.
house would be found pretty quickly.
I'll be
uh,
honest, it seems like they're already trying to cover their tracks. I think they just want to push this under the rug.
It's certainly possible. I don't know to what extent anyone knows something supernatural has occurred. I guess I can try and suss people out. Ryland's the lead investigator on this. If anyone knows anything, it's probably him. But if he is not involved in the supernatural, obviously I would prefer to keep that aspect out of it. And he doesn't need to know all of my information all the time. I do have some leeway with reporting in, and hopefully we can keep this to ourselves as much as we can, and not have to lean into Ryland or the rest of the department to the point of letting them in on the nature of the supernatural. I do know I want to clear Miss Hemicker's name, because there's no way she did it. Doing that will be difficult, but with a string of murders, I think it would be much easier to have a serial killer still at large. If the symbols from the Hemicker house and from the hospital match, so that'll help absolve her. I don't know if she's gonna recover from her catatonic state, catatonia. But if she's already spoken, then that's good. But right now, I'd prefer to keep the force at arm's length unless I need information or have evidence.
Mr. Bilkins was also working with the police. I do plan on continuing to tell them about your research.
An excellent question, Miss Phillips. I don't know. I feel that we may need some funding for our ventures, and the police department is paying me. I think we will need to give them some information. Whether that information is contrived or, well, truthful, I haven't decided yet.
Understood.
But right now, perhaps we should take this to another place.
Yes.
Okay. Tony, if you wouldn't mind being in my car, I don't remember the specific path to the dump. Junkyard, excuse me.
Yeah, I'd be careful. He doesn't like it when people call it a dump.
Okay, I'll make sure to bear that in mind. It's been a long day, everyone. I know tensions are.
It's about
high.
11 o'clock at night at this point.
So let's just head there.
The place is closing. Should probably get out of here.
Boris Warren is going to stand up and reach out his hand to Eddie. Thank you so much for the pizza. It was really good. I mean, everybody seems to have ate quite a bit. Everybody get their fill. I mean, it's wonderful. It's a great establishment, but they could probably teach that Gavin guy before he makes the pizza dough. It'd be really nice if he washed his hands when he came out of the bathroom, because that was a little, extra tang.
Okay.
But,
So let me just clarify. The person he's been calling Gavin all night, is that someone named Gavin who works there?
who works there, yes.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Wait, what? Didn't wash his hands coming out of the bathroom?
No, 3 times.
Gross.
You guys really got to work on your paying attention to things that are going on around you.
You're clearly quite observant. I'll keep an eye out better, I think.
Yeah, well, 3 knives to the ribs, you'll start looking around and watching for what's coming, let me tell you.
Or 3 forks.
Well played, officer, well played.
Thanks.
And good job. It's nice to see you guys coming together. There's a little bit of hope for the next generation. I mean, all of you really shared stuff except for this history guy who wrote a lot of notes, but he didn't share much. But hey, That's between your team and your dynamic. So the more he writes, the thicker the paper is, and you can use that as a shield along with his body in a worst case scenario. Just saying.
Yeah. He is still part of the team, of course. So, let's just get a move on and try and cut the bickering down to a minimum.
So, I'd also recommend you get some weapons. That'd be good. A good gun. Learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Guns work on most everything except werewolves. Just pisses them off. Well, and vampires just pisses them off. And demons pisses them off too. Well, but anyway, it's better than nothing, right? So
On that subject, Officer Theron, if hypothetically I was carrying a revolver in my glove box, you wouldn't see fit to write me up for that, would you?
Oh gosh, Eddie, I if you had
wait
something hidden in your
a
glove
minute,
box.
officer, I am sorry. That is inexcusable. It's inexcusable if he is not properly licensed to be carrying that in his vehicle in the glove box, because you're not going to make it back to your damn car when a tiger jumps on you in an alley. If it isn't on you, it's a paperweight and it isn't any good.
If you're concealed carrying, I haven't had a need to see your license or anything like that. So I'd probably just have to look the other way. I assume most of my compatriots act in good faith. So
Thanks. Great.
Oh, and by the way, Barney Fife, it helps to have the bullets in the pistol. Don't carry them in your pocket. You won't have time to load it.
Duly noted.
I will need to go back to the station to report that my ballistic vest and shotgun are gone.
Oh, your shotgun's in the trash can across the street.
How are you? Okay. I'm gonna go get my shotgun then.
Well, that's
I
a
will be
relief.
right back.
There's not a tiger rolling around town with a shotgun.
That is good news. You didn't see where my ballistic vest did. He didn't stop in anywhere and drop off my ballistic vest to get
No, I
cleaned or
didn't see the
something?
ballistic vest. All I saw was something very small moving across the thing, and I think between all of them, I counted 11 arms.
Oh God. Okay. I will begin to jog across the street to go get my shotgun out of the fucking trash can.
Harley's going to take the Cabbage Patch arm out of her backpack and be like, did you say an uneven number of arms?
Yeah, very similar to that. Where'd you get that?
Yes. My apartment. They've been in my apartment. Yeah.
Wow. Well. Hey, at least that one's disarmed.
Yes.
Cabbage Patch Kids. Could be worse. Could be Stretch Armstrongs.
Very true. Should we all head out?
Rebecca, at this point, your pager goes off.
Rooting around in the trash to grab my shotgun and my pager goes off. Click it on.
Ludlow's awake. That's all it says.
Thank fuck. Got it! Run back over. Okay. Good news. Ludlow is apparently awake. I don't know how lucid he is, but that is definitely a lead we should follow.
Are we going to Denny's? I mean, it's nighttime. If he is a creature of the night, he should be there, right?
If we, I hate to say it, but if we split up, we can cover more ground. Gang.
Warren, what do you think about splitting up? You've done this before. Is that a common thing that your groups of people do?
Well, I mean, you haven't really trained together. You haven't really formed any kind of cohesive way of working together, it looks like. Um, Maybe you should take a little time and get to know each other and learn how to work as a team. But hey, you know, you fumbled through fine so far. I mean,
Inspiring confidence, I see.
By which you mean none of us are dead, right?
exactly.
Swell.
Pretty good in my books. I'd like to keep it that way.
Those of you with visible wounds, you may wish to cover them up if we are going more into public. I'm sure already Luigi does not appreciate that in the restaurant. Sorry, Eddie.
If he is a vampire, open wounds is probably not a good idea.
That's actually a very good point.
Maybe only us that haven't been injured.
Oh no, I think we should go see this vampire with my leg looking. You know what? I'm sorry. Carry on. As you were saying, Penelope.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. You have a point. I mean, we could send in only the people that are uninjured, just to see.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. He just told us we really should be coming together, and I want to work on this location that's safe, because I don't know about you. I don't feel safe in my house anymore, and I just, it would make me feel a lot better if my business partner and officers there and Harley and Mr. Bilkins and Eddie, if we all just came together and maybe sat down someplace. And I know we just got finished eating, but we work together on something instead of splitting apart. I just
What would you like to work on in the safe place?
figuring out how the hell we solve this, because yeah, he might be working at night, and yeah, your partner's awake now, but it's the middle of the night, and look, Sean only stays up so late. He's gonna be pissed off if we wake him up, and and we got to figure out what we're doing in the morning, because I don't know about you. I usually get into bed about 12, and I don't like disrupting my schedule any more than we already have.
Fair. I suppose I can radio in to Ryland, make sure Ludlow's stable. I am a bit afraid that Stipico or whoever or whatever will come and try and finish him. That worries me, but I suppose that would have already happened. So I don't know.
Wait a minute. Why are you blaming the bunny for this Ludlow guy? How's that related?
The film I showed you, it looked like Stipico was wearing a mask. There was like I saw like a rabbit ear in the person who grabbed onto Ludlow, and some sort of strange mask.
Or the bunny was the mask.
I think a major concern that we have is regardless of whether the bunny is the killer or not. I mean, why are they targeting who they're targeting? In all the crime shows, it's important to figure out what the MO is and who they're targeting, so that way we can prevent the next death.
They knew too much.
Warren just stands there and points at Harley, going,
like I said, I'm worried about the same thing happening to that doctor, to the others.
Yeah.
She handed me a note. She had more evidence for me or something to tell me. And
okay, but okay, let's tie it together. You don't have to put your hand up. You're not in school, son.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse either. Couldn't we discuss this at the safe house so we're not in public? And
Yeah.
Get one
Okay,
of those
Anthony.
bulletin boards. Start pinning up pictures, right? Newspaper articles.
The
And
red
was it purple or
That's what you
pink?
wanna
Red
do.
string. Red string. Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony, you're with me. Eddie, I assume you'll be driving as well.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to come? Warren, you can come with me as well. Yeah, let's just get there and get set up, and then we'll focus on what we need to do.
Who am I riding with?
You're with me.
All right. And he puts his arm around Anthony, and as walking to the car, he leans over to Anthony and says, "Don't worry about the cussing, son. My padre always said that foul language is the crutch of ignorant motherfuckers." And just pats you on the back and walks over and sits down in the car.
Flabbergasted.
All right, Eddie. Whoever else wants to ride with you, yeah, just follow, and it's not too far. It should be about 20-25 minutes.
All right.
Penelope instinctively just heads towards Eddie's car. I don't think she's ridden in the police car.
Mind it?
yet.
You can give me the address. Mind if I just swing by my place first to pick up my laptop and a few books on folklore?
Oh.
Sure. But
You might be followed.
We're a bit worried here, so just be careful, okay?
All of our places have been compromised. I don't
Try
know.
and take some back routes.
Okay.
I know some shortcuts.
Oh, I think I know how to drive around the streets, but yeah, you probably know some things.
Harley, did you want to come with me and Eddie? So at least we have like a 50-50 split, roughly.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
And Warren quickly goes, "Shh, I guess I don't count."
I said roughly.
Pat
Roughly
you on
was the
head.
key term there. Roughly.
Oh, okay. I'm just teasing you.
And besides, you would count for more than one of us anyway, so no matter where we split you.
We'll just cut him in half.
So Harley actually goes with Eddie to the car as well?
It's Penelope, Eddie,
Yeah,
and
Penelope.
Harley,
Yeah.
I think, and then Anthony, Warren, and Rebecca. Bilkins, I don't know which way he's going.
If Eddie has a second, sorry.
No, go ahead.
If Eddie has a second to talk to Harley, he's gonna want to say, "Look, if you figure out how that whole memory thing works, I might ask you for a favor. There's some memories I have never been able to remember. Something that happened about 12 years ago."
Oh, chances are, if you haven't been able to remember it, your brain locked it away for a reason. But I'll do that favor if you're willing to. I owe you. You kind of tried to speak back to Bilkins and let yourself be angry, and I think I don't let myself be angry as much as I should. So you apologized for it, for being hot-headed, but he deserved it, and I hope you realize that, and that I'm thankful for you being kind to me this whole time.
Yeah, sure. No problem. All right. Well, we can talk about it later.
Of course.
All right, let's get moving.
Bilkins, I think you had something you wanted to say a minute ago.
It hasn't come up yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll send you the address, Eddie. I have your number already, right?
Yeah.
Let's make a group chat.
Yeah, there you go. Group chat.
Yes. Also, I mean, I could just give him the address now so he's not flying in the dark later.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to text it to him real quick, but go for it.
Warren, do you have a phone? I didn't know if you were the type to have a phone or not.
Yeah, I left it in my yacht.
That's why I was asking. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to assume.
I mean,
So-
where's your yacht?
It's in front of the castle. No, sorry, sweetie. Electronic devices and we've never gotten along too well.
Is there a good way to keep in touch with you in the event that
Well,
we
I'm going
get
to be at the
separated
safe
or anything?
house, and you're going to bring pizza, and
By carrier pigeon.
I hope somebody's going to bring booze.
Sure.
On that note, I happen to be heading to a store that has medical supplies, but they also sell some very high shelf liquor. I believe they're open this time of night in Chicago. Would you care to come with me?
And Warren is going to put his arm around your shoulders and go, I knew I liked you.
Hmm.
All right. We'll send the address in the group chat then, so everyone can remember, and then we'll meet at the safe house. All right. Well, Anthony, it's you and me.
I'll provide you directions to the junkyard.
It's a nice, quiet place. There's like a cul-de-sac. It's in the warehouse area. You know, you've got the river going by, but there's a few docks, but it's all going to be offloading and onloading to ships that are going to be heading out the river, out to sea. So it's really not a very busy place in the evening, except for, probably a few illicit deals going on, but that's about it.
There any lights on in the junkyard at the moment?
Time of night, and it's probably approaching 11:30, 12 at this point. I'd say no, there's probably no lights. The dogs may be out though.
Yeah. So I would warn. So he's got dogs, and it looks like he's already turned in for the night. So, probably best to let me, I guess. I mean, at least he knows me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Are you doing okay?
Yeah. No, I'm fine. Don't. Yeah. I'm good. I like to stick to a schedule, and I've not had time to take care of any of the things I need to, and I'm sure Sensei is worried, and my dad, and just there's a lot of things going on. It's fine. I can handle it. We need to get this taken care of though. So I open up the door and get out and head up to the gates.
Well, side of a cop probably wouldn't do a lot, so I will probably stick around the car, just kind of take in the sights, try and observe if there's anything unusual. Probably not, but figured I'd take a look anyway.
Mm-hmm. As Anthony approaches the gate, the dogs kick in and start running up, but when they recognize him, it goes more to yelps and, hey, pay attention to me type of noises than barks and growls.
Reach to pet their heads through the gates. Yeah, you're gonna wake him up for me. He's gonna be really angry, but that's okay. We're gonna get a nice place, and you're gonna have lots of new friends around here.
And with that, the door opens and you hear a shotgun rack.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Wait, Sean, it's just me. I know it's late. I'm sorry.
That you read.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you doing here this late at night?
Well, when inspiration hits you, you gotta take it right then.
All right. Just put the dogs in the pen and let them out before you leave, all right?
Yeah, no problem. You rest up. I'll make sure everything's locked up. You know I wouldn't leave you hanging in the wind.
All right. Gate combo is Beethoven's
789.
birthday. Beethoven's birthday, yeah. And he walks back in.
Okay. So I'll punch in the gate code and take the dogs back, and then head back around to the front to grab Officer Theron.
Okay.
Went well, I hope.
So he should leave us alone. Just stay very quiet, because if he hears that there's other people here, I really don't know how he'll handle that.
Well, for right now, I'm one of your robo buddies. If
Right,
needs.
of course, but I mean, it's the middle of the night. Look, just please
Yeah.
stay quiet. I really don't want to have to explain myself on this.
I understand. I'll be quiet.
And I'll lead you to the back, and say, this is the garage that I tend to work in. Please don't touch my setup. I know it looks interesting, but it's very sharp, and there's a lot of things that you could zap. And if you ruin this, I don't know that I can forgive you.
I'll be sure to be as quiet and as inoffensive as I can.
Now, when the others get here, I'm gonna need to let them in, and they really can't make any noise. So maybe, maybe we should just. I don't want to wait up front, but I feel like we kind of have to.
We can always just send them a text to text us when they get here and meet us up front.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm overthinking it,
Yeah.
like always.
Just deep breath, honey. Just deep breath, okay? Things are going fine. It's a long day. Time to de-stress a little bit now that we've got a safe house. I'll start putting together some of those rune things. I got a couple of pictures of them, so.
I mean, yeah, we can start figuring out where they might go, maybe, but I think I really want to wait till Mr. Bilkins is here, because no offense, but he's the one who knows these things, and while I trust your judgment, I just feel like.
Okay, that's fine. I'll start doing my own research on my phone while we wait. Okay. With that, I would find a seat away from Mr. Anthony's equipment, and then start just Google-fooing.
Okay. I'm going to put you guys on hold, and I'm going to go to Eddie, Penelope, and Harley and what's happening for them.
In the sorry, on.
Oh, I assume we'd just be in the car at first, right? Like Eddie would
Yeah.
swing by his apartment, like he said, pick up his computer, a couple of books.
Penelope would just be keeping an eye on the bear.
Keeping an eye on it, how? Are you like staring into the bag?
She kind of has, like, I imagine she has the bag on her lap, and she kind of has the bag open, and she just keeps giving it pets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just giving it like little pets. When we get to Eddie's, Penelope will just be like, I don't know, I think Anthony wants to sleep. So do you think you could grab some like spare bedding or something? Like if you have pillows or blankets? I have a feeling this is going to turn into a sleepover. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't exactly keep sleeping bags. I don't have a lot to my name, to be honest. But I'll see what I can pull together. At least I'll bring my pillow and blanket, all right?
And then in the car, Penelope would just look to Harley and just, you alright?
Oh, Yeah, I'm fine. Actually, I'm doing very well.
Okay.
I know I got upset back there, but it wasn't you. It was really just at Bilkins. I just didn't want to direct it at Bilkins because he would have gotten mad. So I addressed the whole group, but I don't know. I respect him and I want to be his friend, but he makes that very difficult. And I've dealt with a lot of people who act that way or have reservations or have traumas that cause them to block people out or put on a show, and I've never dealt with someone like him before. I really don't
Personally,
get it.
I think he likes you. Personally.
Well, he's terrible at showing it if that's true.
I mean, that's what guys are like, right? I think.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never really dated anyone.
I mean, not neither, but I mean, that's what they say, right? They don't just say that to make you feel better, right?
Eddie, are you mean to people you like?
Oh wait, is Eddie in the car still at this point? 'Cause
I
kinda
figured Eddie was in the house.
Yeah, I figured this
Oh.
conversation would start while he was up in his apartment getting stuff.
Whoops.
I mean, my
no
mom
worries.
always said that's why kids took my glasses and pulled my hair in school.
Oh.
Maybe they just didn't like me. That would make more sense, actually.
I suppose. I mean, how would I find out if Bilkins likes me or not, though?
I don't know. I don't know. He just seems to give you kind of more like, I don't know. I just have this feeling. That's all. I don't know. Just see what happens, I guess.
Well, okay. I'll wait and see, but it's not I mean, Bilkins seems like a very professional man, and I don't think someone who
yeah.
does things by the book and is professional would be so just outwardly
Exactly.
callous at someone that they like. I mean, wouldn't he show
Ex-
interest in a
well-
positive way?
Well, that's the thing. Co-workers can't date co-workers, and if you had a strong feeling for someone you worked with and you didn't want anyone to find out because potentially you're their superior, you would maybe treat them a little bit harsher to kind of throw off the scent, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing that
I
out there.
I suppose. I mean, I yes. Well, I mean, Penelope, I don't even know his first name. He hardly talks to me.
Mm,
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just thinking it'd be kind of cute. That's all. I don't know.
Ah,
Oh,
and then
Eddie,
you hear,
hey.
yeah, you hear the trunk open first. He opens the back door, one of the back doors. All right, mind if I just slide this laptop here on the floorboard and a couple of these books? Okay. Sorry, did I interrupt something?
No. Actually, Eddie, if you had a crush on me, how would you tell me or show me?
Penelope just looks out the window.
Um, and in this scenario, pretend that we are coworkers, and also that you're a bit of a prick. Yes.
Maybe like a history major. I don't know, something.
I really feel like I interrupted something.
No. I'm asking you for your advice. What would you?
What would I do to get your attention?
Yes, if you had a crush on me and we were coworkers.
And we were coworkers.
Yes.
I don't know. I might playfully tease you a little bit, and then
Oh.
occasionally
Damn it.
occasionally pull out a sincerely nice line to, I don't know, catch you off guard and maybe ask you if you wanted to do something together. This is making me a little uncomfortable, to be
That's
honest.
fine. It's making me uncomfortable too.
Yeah, it's fine.
We can stop. We can stop. I don't like Bilkins, and he doesn't like
Penelope?
me.
Please make me a wits and composure roll.
Oh goodness. Okay. Why am I doing this? Rolls nat 1. You think about it. You think Bilkins likes you, actually. I got 1 success. Not great, but
Out of the corner of your eye, you see motion in the backpack, and you see the panda going.
so I see him move. It's not like he's in that position. He's actually moving.
You see his head shake, and him go.
Just like,
And it immediately straightens out and just goes.
I saw you. I saw you, cheeky. I saw you. I saw you. We heading off?
Sure are. We sure
Yes,
are.
I think so. Yes.
All right, I'm going to jump to Bilkins and Boris, and I'm only doing that because I like the alliteration. Bilkins and Boris.
I hope it's some kind of sleepover scenario where, like, the girls are talking about the boys and the boys are talking about the girls.
And everybody's hugging the little stuffed animal, and the little stuffed animal is going. Mr. Bilkins, we are at the beer establishment with Boris.
I'm just gonna go get. I need a 10-year-old Scotch. So I'm looking around for a 10-year-old Scotch or any Scotch that is equivalent to 5s, a number of 2s.
As you're looking, Boris is going, I can see that you are a man of distinguished taste and that you go for the finest quality of flavor in your alcohol. And sir, I respect that. And he turns around and grabs a bottle of Mad Dog 2020 and walks up to the register.
Of course. Well, I still need this Scotch. So I'm gonna get that. Is there a $10 bottle or a 10-year bottle?
A 10-year bottle. Let's say you find a 13 Glenlivet. Let's make it good Scotch.
Okay, I'm gonna get that, and then I'm going to get like 2 handles of Svedka and a 6-pack.
All right.
And yeah, I'll go and pay for everything, and then get back in the Uber.
Okay. All right.
And I will direct the Uber to Mr. Reed's house.
Okay. Very good. You will let some time go that you arrive at the apartment. Meanwhile, I'm assuming Eddie, Penelope, and Harley are heading over to the junkyard. So I'm going to jump to them for the junkyard real quick because it'll take a few minutes to get to the apartment. You guys are at the junkyard.
I will want to talk to him before we arrive. Like,
okay.
while we're in the Uber, I want to like kind of prep him.
Okay. We'll handle that in just a moment. Awesome.
Sure.
So you guys arrive at the junkyard. I guess, Anthony, you were waiting for a text, or are you at the front gate?
I'm probably at the front gate. Like, as much as I could wait for this text, I'm anxious and unhappy. So I'm probably pacing at the front gate.
All right. So you see Anthony at the front gate. You see their vehicle pull up. It's obviously Eddie's. The front right headlight's out.
Okay. I think he wants us to be quiet.
So I'm going to head and open the gate and then go out to meet them at the car. So you guys need to be incredibly quiet because, look, Mr. Sean is a really nice guy, but he doesn't like being bothered at night. He doesn't know you're here, and he has a shotgun. So just stay quiet, please.
Understood.
All you needed to say was he had a shotgun.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
got you.
kind of overthinking things. So,
Hey, it's fine. It's fine.
but hey, you'll get to see my build again. It's still not great, but
I do have to be honest with you, Anthony. I don't know how I feel about a safe house where we are being menaced with a shotgun.
well, think about it as like an extra layer of protection. I'm gonna tell him about you guys, but it's late at night, and if I tell him right now, there's no way in hell he's gonna be okay with it. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I know
I'll
it's
follow
not.
your lead on this then.
Hey, thanks. Um I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
But I gotta warn you guys. I my equipment is in there, and if you mess with my equipment, I won't forgive you. So please don't.
I know the rules. I'll make sure no one touches it.
No
Thank you.
problem. I'll be on my laptop.
Oh yeah, there should be some outlets. I'll make sure you can hook up,
Appreciate it.
and I'll lead them to that.
While they're coming back, I would actually, thinking on that our homes might not be safe, I'd shoot a text to Morgan, make sure he's okay, and then one to Dominic, seeing who's been put onto the Ludlow case now. We don't know exactly. So
Okay. All right. The first one, you get a response back, and front door's locked. Everything's fine. When will you be home?
not sure I'll be home tonight. They got me working late again. Just make sure you're safe. There's some crazy stuff going on. I've got a revolver in my nightstand. Keep it close.
And you get back 2 frowny faces.
I know. And then I'll send a sad face.
All right. Mr. Bilkins, we are in the vehicle. And Warren reaches into his pocket, pulls out a piece of pizza, kind of scrapes some lint off of it, and offers it to you.
I can't believe I didn't think to bring food with me. This will help immensely. Thank you. Also, Mr. Driver, if you see, this is a strange request. You know how at the side of dumpsters sometimes there's discarded furniture? If you see something that looks like it might have wheels, like a dolly, and then maybe some like a light dress thing, can you let me know? And we just keep your eyes peeled.
And he stops short in an alley, throws it into reverse, and points down in the alley, and looks like there's an old stroller down there.
Stroller.
Oh, pardon me. For the British people, there's a pram over there.
I'm not
I
British.
speak
I'm
American.
educated. That'll have to do for now. And I'll go and grab the stroller and stick it in the back.
Okay.
Warren, have you thought about my proposal? You heard the safe house I described.
You know, I prefer it when you call me Boris.
I've never called you Boris. Not a single time.
I know, I'd appreciate it if you started now.
All right, Boris. Very well. How do you feel about the safe house that I described?
Actually, I like the one that Anthony's providing better.
Here is the reason I was hoping you would accept my offer. The safe house I described is Anthony's residence. His father is a raging alcoholic. His father keeps a shotgun under his bed. The shotgun is not for intruders. It is loaded and it is ready for use. If anything were to happen to his father, Anthony, although his father mistreats him, Anthony would be ruined. Now, Mr. Reed is a lonely, sad man who needs company. You will be safe there as anywhere else. The whatever it is that's chasing the stuffed thing, it's already been to the residence. It's already taken what it wanted. It won't return. If we can put the runes and the symbols up, you would be as safe there as anywhere else, probably safer. Now, if you stay there, I guarantee you a shipment of alcohol. If you want Mad Dog 2020, that's fine. I will give you alcohol. I will give you pizza, cigars. You can live your retirement in style. I will give you 40% of what the police station is paying me.
You make an excellent offer, Mr. Bilkins, and I'll consider it. And you're welcome to talk to this, what's his name again?
Mr. Reed?
Mr. Reed, okay. And I will help protect this guy a little bit, but remember, I'm retired. But I do need to go to the junkyard with you this evening, so do you want to go there first?
Shall we see if Mr. Reed is open to offers first, and then go to the junkyard after?
Perfectly fine, but I do want to make clear I don't do that kind of stuff. So I don't know what kind of deal you're planning on making, but I do have my limits. So I just want to be clear on this.
Job will be to exist. If Mr. Reed should raise a hand to you, maybe you teach him a lesson or two.
You mentioned a lot that he was a lonely guy. I just want to make sure we're clear on this.
Oh, he's not that type of man. He misses his wife. Good God, Warren.
I'm just trying to be clear and concise.
Yeah, so with that concluded, direct it to the Reed residence.
All right. You arrive at the Reed residence at about 1 o'clock in the morning.
I will get the stroller out. I will load up the stroller with all of the alcohol with the Glenlivet in front. And I will knock on the door.
And does that include the Mad Dog?
It does not. The Mad Dog
Okay.
I have given to Warren to hold
Okay.
on to.
Good. Okay. And you hear a lot of grumbling and stuff from the other side of the door. In fact, you hear a noise that goes shh. I don't know who it is on the other side of that door.
Mr. Reed, it is your good witch of the East. It is your fairy godmother. It is your Wizard of Oz. It is your magic genie. I have brought you what I promised.
There's dead silence for a couple of minutes.
Mr. Reed, the magic works better if I'm on the other side of the door.
You hear a pardon me, I had to take the shotgun out of my mouth. You hear the door opens up. Yes.
Dark, Tam, that's dark. Okay.
I really was hoping you were out of my life. Where's Anthony?
That is not the first time I've heard that. Mr. Reed, forget about your son for a moment. I have brought you the scotch that I promised you, along with 2 other bottles and a lucrative proposition.
Ugh. Come on, Ann. And he just puts the shotgun over his shoulder, and as he turns and walks away, the barrel is pointing at you. As he walks over to his chair, and then he sits down and lays it across his lap.
Bilkins obviously ducks out of the way, to wherever the gun is as he's moving. He's ducking and weaving. And
Boris, who is standing behind you, doesn't move at all.
Of course he doesn't. And Bilkins is going to walk in like he owns the place, go straight to the cupboard and find the least disgusting glasses he can. 2 of them.
Okay.
I find it is always best to discuss business over a drink. I'll pour some of the 12-year-old scotch. One for him. He gets a double, and one for Warren. He gets half.
Okay, who's your friend?
That is the business proposition. You see,
Wait a minute.
after drinks, I will explain everything. This will be very profitable for you, I promise.
I don't know what kind of business you're into, Mr. Pimp, but you're not
Why
going to fly with me.
Does everyone's mind go there first? No. He wants to sublet Europe an apartment. I need your son for research, and you're going to have an empty room in
Wait,
the
you
house.
need my son for what?
Research.
Well,
It's for
you're not
college
like-
credit. Your son has a bright future in your son is a genius, Mr. Reed. He's a very bright boy, and I need his help.
Are you like going to dissect his brain?
Did you finish your drink yet, Mr. Reed?
He hadn't even touched it.
All right. Shit. I'll go get a drink. And
right.
I'll pour myself one. Yeah.
This is a social interaction. I will tell you that his first impression of you did not roll very positively. But I think at this point, you can do either a presence or a manipulation and socialize.
You said presence or manipulation or and manipulation?
Or I will give you presence or manipulation, your choice, and
God,
socialize.
Okay. All right. Okay. One success.
He sets the glass down on the side of the chair and just play straight. What is it you're after, Bilkins?
I need a safe place for this man to stay. And with your military background and I believe this is that safe place. I can pay you handsomely. I can make sure you have food. I can bring you more of the scotch, which is delicious if you would try it. But that is what I need.
And he takes and points at Boris and calls him over. And Boris walks over and he pours the scotch into his glass, sets it down, and looks up at him and, where do you think I've got room for him in here?
Your son will be staying with me during the winter break.
Whoa. Wait where's Anthony?
Mr. Reed, where is your son right now? Did you
That's
just
what I'm
know he was
asking you.
missing? You just noticed he was missing just now.
I was asleep, so yeah.
And it's 1 a.m.
It's a weekend.
Don't pretend
School's
you
out.
care. Don't pretend you care where your son goes during winter break.
That is not a good argument. Well, I need your son
About to
will
get
be staying with me
slapped.
for winter break. Excuse me, you don't care. Like
Why does everyone think that
break?
Bilkins is trying to be a prostitute or something? I'm not hooking anybody up with anyone. I'm asexual.
Which is probably why you don't pick up on all the innuendos. that
In the
you're throwing out.
innuendo that you are throwing out there.
I mean, Bilkins
Bilkins.
doesn't pick up on that.
You arrive at my house in the middle of the night, telling me you want my son to move in with you, offering me alcohol, and wanting some strange guy to move in.
I'm offering you $250 a week, plus 3 handles of booze and 2 large pizzas every week
I need you
for
to
a
give me.
research assistant.
I need you to give me another roll, but you're going to subtract 1 die from the die pool.
Ugh. 2.
2 successes.
That's not 2 successes. That's a 2 on the singular die that I just rolled.
And he stands up, cradles the shotgun in his arm, leans in. Get out of my house.
I take my the baby carriage, the stroller. I leave the bottle of scotch and I sadly push the baby carriage to the doorway. I follow Warren out and
Oh, no. Warren isn't leaving yet.
He's
He
not
told
leaving?
you to leave.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll push the carriage to the door, and I'll say, "My offer stands, Mr. Reed. Whenever you are desperate enough to accept it." And then I will start walking down the hallway.
And he's going to turn to Boris, and you will hear some of this as you're walking away. Do you know where my son is? Yeah, he's at a good place. He's at the junkyard. A few people are meeting him there. All right. Keep that pervert away from him, will you? Something seems a little nerve-wracking about him. I'm not quite sure he's, right in the head. No problem. And a few minutes later, Warren comes walking down the hallway after you. And he walks up and he puts his arm around your shoulder. And he goes, "That went well."
You could have said something to help. You know, I'm trying to do what is best for the boy.
Couple of suggestions. When you walk into a man's house and he's got a shotgun in his hands, don't tell him his son's going to come live with you. Just don't think that sent quite the message you were anticipating. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotch isn't the right drink. Maybe a beer. Maybe talk about sports. Bitch about the weather. Leave the conversation about his son living with you until,
Yes, all right. It was a poor gambit.
Look,
I used to be an alcoholic. 1 o'clock. He hasn't had alcohol since 6 p.m. today. He's jittery. He's nervous. He should have drunk that immediately.
Mr. Bilkins, a little friendly advice. That man, he's not an alcoholic. He's got PTSD. You can tell. See it in the eyes. His hands weren't shaking at all. He had full control of that gun the entire time. He's not an alcoholic. He's scared.
I hadn't considered that.
That's okay. And he pats you on the back. You'll learn what being scared's like soon enough.
Do you think he'll call?
I don't know, but I'll check in on him. I don't think he hates me as much as he does you.
That's definitely true.
So, hey, I will keep up my end of the bargain. Don't worry about it. You'll be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Osbert.
Absolutely, Mr.
Or
Bookins.
Boris, sorry.
Shall we make our way to the junkyard?
We shall.
Mm-hmm. So you guys get there and arrive at the gate. And Anthony, are you still pacing or are you waiting for You definitely hear the vehicle pull up because there's not a lot of traffic.
When I hear the vehicle pull up, I'd probably be running out of the garage because I assume that I've been consumed with, look, and this is how this works, and this tool is for this, and how amazing.
You
And when
arrive
he
at the
runs
gate.
out, we're all like,
Ooh, there's a lot of technology there.
You arrive at the gate as the Uber has stopped. I assume Bilkins is making sure he's paid. And we're going to get out of the vehicle with a stroller full of alcohol. I assume you took it with you and didn't leave it on the front porch. I should have asked.
I would have left the stroller, and I would have given Boris one of the bottles of Svedka.
Okay.
And I'm hiding the other bottle in my jacket. I've like taken my jacket off and I'm like holding it down under my arm.
All right. And Anthony, as you approach, Boris looks around and goes, so this is the junkyard, huh?
Yeah, it's a pretty great place, huh?
Yeah, interesting. Interesting how the machine puts these coincidences together. And he walks through the gate, walks up to the house and goes, Sean, wake your ass up, buddy. And the door opens and he comes flying out, gun in hand, and he looks at him and, Warren? Pulls out the bottle of Mad Dog and hands it to him. It says, it's good to see you. And he looks over. I thought you were retired. I am. We got a new team. Unlock the armory. And that is where we're going to stop for this evening.
Nice.
Everyone just lost it.
oh, get a ray gun.
Wow.
All right, guys. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it tonight. This was a very role play heavy.
Yes,
I
it was
think helps
great.
Gel the
It was
team.
great.
It was great. So,
It's a good one, yeah.
That's fun.
everybody, take a beat for surviving.
Hey.
Take a beat for role play because I thought it was great. There were some interactions tonight that were just amazing. I love it. And let's do player beats this evening. So I'm going to go from the layout on my screen, and I'm going to start with Eddie in the left-hand corner. Eddie, who would you like to give a beat to, either for role play or carrying the story forward, or just being awesome?
I'm actually going to give it to Harley this session for coming out, standing up for herself, and role playing that whole psychometry thing in an interesting way.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I loved it. Harley, how about you?
I was actually going to say I was going to give it to Eddie because I liked that banter back and forth with Boris about being the cool guy and the quiet guy, and I appreciate it. I've never seen Grundy have that like anger before. It was really cool. So that was fun. So beat to you.
We'll have to draw more emotion out, so we'll just keep dragging that roll there. All right. With that, I'm going to go to Anthony.
So I'm terribly split. The two people I was split between already got beats. So let's see.
Just beat it. Sorry.
Oh man.
Oh, now we're gonna get blocked by Twitch, but anyway, because I know that sounded just like him. So anyway.
Exactly.
Let's give it to Eddie because I really, really loved it. I love both Harley and Eddie. Both of you really shine tonight, and I really want to see more of it.
Awesome. Rebecca?
Oh God.
No. Tam, but that's okay.
I would give mine to Harley. I really liked her tonight. I think the psychometry stuff was really good. I think her flying off the handle was still very sweet and polite, which I liked.
I love it. Yes.
Very in character, and yeah, I think she really did well tonight. So I'm glad.
All right, Mr. Bilkins.
I'm giving mine to Penelope. so I won't feel so bad when I murder you later.
Oh goodness. And with that, Penelope.
Oh, thanks, Belkins. Oh gosh, I don't know. Honestly, everyone had um yeah, I was torn between Eddie and Harley, and I was kind of hoping like I would be able to like round it off. Um but I feel like they both did equally really good, and I can't pick, so I'm gonna also throw one back at Bilkins because boy howdy did that last bit make me laugh so much.
I love the dice. I love the dice. That could have gone so differently, but the dice were our friend.
Plus
Get
he
out of
took
my
a,
fucking house.
he took a lot of beating tonight,
Yeah,
honestly.
that is true.
So yeah, I think he definitely deserves some kind of love.
Well, maybe the panda will love him too.
Oh,
No, that's my panda.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
no, comrade, our panda.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being at the table. Loved having you here tonight. Hope you enjoyed the game. I hope those of you watching enjoyed it. Thank you very much for being here. And don't forget, there are other great shows coming up on Onyx Path during the week. You can catch the schedule. You can actually re-roll to when we went live because the schedule's printed there. You can, let's see, I think it's down below somewhere on here. And also there's an Onyx Path Discord that'll have it. But please take a look at some of the other stuff that's out there. And we will see you next week. And anybody got anything they want to say before we cut? Mr. Chops.
So, as always, I'm going to continue to encourage you guys to watch out for your mental health. It's a very serious thing. Normally, I tell you guys, hey, reach out to your friends and family, speak to them. And I will continue to encourage you to do that because it is important. But I also want you to consider how you go about your day. We treat a lot of people in ways that we think is fair or it's justified. And that happens a lot, but we're not always thinking about it as clearly as we could. Sometimes I think it's important that we take a moment to put ourselves in the shoes of the other people that we're talking to. So when you're going through your day, if you try to do that once or twice, I think maybe that would be a good change. But also, when you have those moments where you're feeling alone and you don't know how to face it, remember the people that are around you don't want you to go through that either. So telling them, hey, this is what I'm going through. No, it doesn't make what I'm doing right, but I don't know how to get out of it on my own. So please give me a hand. It can make a difference.
All right. Thank you, Chops. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you here next week for Chapter 6. Bye.